Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We are live from Game Time Sidekicks, GameTimeSidekicks.com. We are happy to be with you this morning. It is Friday, the best day of the week. Brad Matthews is back in the Low T Center studios, and like I just mentioned, we are right here at Game Time Sidekicks. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, good morning, individuals.
Good morning, sir. Ready for some football tomorrow, and it may be, I guess last week was the first football game Tennessee has played where it was true football weather at kickoff. It was not raining in Tuscaloosa last week, although it was sprinkling throughout warm-ups. But when it kicked off, no rain. Temperature felt pretty good. Felt like a fall Saturday night down in the South. And then tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, we'll have football weather again. So best time of the year, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Great time of the year, guys. And a great weekend for sports. My goodness. You got Tiger on the tube. You got Tennessee and the SEC matchup against South Carolina on the tube. You got NBA getting underway. You got the World Series. I could keep going, but that's all we need to talk about today.
Go Nationals.
Go Nationals. Yeah.
Young Gomes. VFL.
That's right. Although the SEC gets a for what? Because they tweet it out, and they do this every time the Super Bowl is going on, the NBA Finals is going on. They always tweet out the SEC representation of guys who are playing in the championship series or the championship game, and they forgot to mention VFL Jan Gomes in their SEC representation tweet of the World Series. They mentioned all the other guys, the Max Scherzers who played at Missouri, the Alex Bregmans who played at LSU, and how dare they forget VFL Jan Gomes. I tweeted at them angrily and reminded them they need to put some respect on Tennessee baseball's name and Jan Gomes'
Epic
name.
fail.
Don't get banned. Don't get banned, Ben.
Well, if I do get banned, we all know Greg Sankey will put out a press release saying that it was the TV's fault, the HD TV, high definition.
HD TV, we live in a day and age. HD TV is prevalent, and social media and slow motion. Yeah, gotta blame slow motion. For terrible, unsportsmanlike or personal foul penalties, unnecessary roughness calls against Darrell Taylor. Got to mention that. 865-255-03 is our B-Dry waterproofing hotline. But we're gonna have on our good friend Seth Stokes on the B-Dry waterproofing hotline. It is Friday, so we're getting him. How you feeling about this game today? That's the question. In the first hour, how do you feel about the game? I tell you, on Saturday after the game, if you were still awake, it was easy to have a really good feeling about what Tennessee could possibly do in the next game and the rest of the season because of how they played against Alabama. But with the quarterback position looking the way it looks, with Brian Maurer more than likely being out because of Pruitt's comments of him being doubtful, Tennessee's looking at J.T. Shrout, and they're looking at Jarrett Garantano. And I'm not asking for this to happen. I'm not saying I would even do it, to be honest. But how cool will it be if the reaction was
Seth, it's Brad.
Totally opposite.
You ready? Come on.
Of what we all expecting when number 2 gets on the football field. What if the response was totally opposite of what people expect? People are expecting some groans, some boos, but what if it was applause? That would make college football's premier TV show.
That would be the upset of the year, is what that would be.
That would never happen. I wouldn't probably applaud either, but I'm just saying.
I would applaud the offensive line and Tim Jordan for running out on the field, and Juwan Jennings and Marquez Callaway.
I'm just saying, you're just trying to go over and beyond to impress the recruits.
No disrespect to Jarrett Garantano.
Every school goes over and beyond to impress recruits. That's why you have official visits.
That's why you have a light show.
Official visits I don't care what school you go to, they are not the same as it is when you get to that school. Sorry, you're not getting private tours from this place to that place. Everyone is being overly nice to you. If you do something where any other time you may get in trouble, official visits you won't. It's just the way it is. They're trying to get you, so of course they're going to be over the top nice. Official visits are not reality. I don't care what any player says. Yeah, everyone can be. You can go to a place. Oh, it's a family atmosphere, but it's not the same. It's not the exact same. So I'm not saying we should do it. I'm not saying it would happen. I'm not saying I would even do it, but it would be pretty cool if we got the opposite of what we're expecting with Jerry Gantano going into the football game. I think it's going to happen at some point. The question is, who starts the game? That's the number one question. And I've said on this program for weeks, months, years, to me it just doesn't matter who starts. It's about who starts and finishes. Who finishes the game? Who plays the most reps? In those reps, who makes the plays? So something to think about as we do the show today and as we approach tomorrow's football game.
I think the first thing that we need to talk about before we even dive into who starts tomorrow against South Carolina, which I can't wait for this game to be over with because I cannot stop confusing South Carolina and Mississippi State. For the life of me. It happened all Mississippi State week. I kept writing South Carolina. I kept wanting to say South Carolina. And then this week it's been the reverse. I keep wanting to write Mississippi State. I keep wanting to say Mississippi State. I guess it's because they're both middle of the tier SEC teams in their respective divisions. They kind of have similar colors and they have two names in their name. I don't know. But I keep getting them confused, so I can't wait for that to stop. Maybe it's just me and I'm just an idiot like we all know. But this quote from Jeremy Pruitt during Vol calls, well, I think we need to talk about this quote and what you think it means before we get into who we think will start against South Carolina at quarterback. Pruitt on Vol calls was asked about Jarrett Garantano's play at Alabama. And Pruitt said, that was probably one of the better games that he's played all year. Statistically, did he miss some throws? Sure he did. But he had command. We were in the right plays. We moved the ball. To me, the whole thing about a quarterback is, do you take your team from one end and move it to the other end? He had less errors that he's had throughout the year, missed maybe one or two throws, and made a bad mistake. But it's like I told him yesterday, it's one of the better games he's played. That comment took me by surprise.
He's a coach, man. He watched more film than us.
Or
I think he's trying to prepare the fan base here, guys.
Yeah, that's my question. Do you think that Pruitt is trying to
Hey, two start on
media
Saturday. Yep.
Huh? What?
If he doesn't start
it, he'll finish it.
That's what I think he's trying to say. That's what I'm reading into it.
I mean, I know every time we hear the coach's words, we like to dissect them and try to see if he's right or wrong. No one watches film more than these coaches. So if they saw what they saw, which in Pruitt's words were a few bad throws, and those bad throws were magnified because one of those throws was to Juwan Jennings, it was a wide open touchdown. And then you look at the last play, which was a fumble. For us, we take those two plays and we go, oh, that's terrible performance. But Jim Chaney's the one who's watching every single play that number two took, and based on his responsibilities, he gets either a plus or a minus. If he gets more pluses than minuses, then Pruitt is right in what he said. So, again, Pruitt and those guys watch way more film than us. They know their players' responsibilities. Pruitt has not lied about someone's performance. Now, he has went coach speaky on us, talking about, Jared as far as needing him and propping him up, but he's not going to lie about his performance. He's not going to just lie.
Right.
He hasn't done that. He's not going to lie about the film because we all can watch the film. The coach's adage, and we'll get Stokes in here, is the eye in the sky don't lie, period. They don't lie. So it's kind of pointless for Jeremy Pruitt to lie there because we all can watch the film. But, again, those guys have watched more film than anyone, and they know what their guys are supposed to do. Stokes, how you feeling about this game, man? How you feeling about this game?
I am unsettled about this game, honestly. I can't call it. I have no idea who's going to win this game. I know as of last night, the spread was like 4.5 points in favor of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think South Carolina covers that. Well, that could be a point, that could be 3 points. I just don't know. And this game, historically, has come down to the last play, especially over the last, we'll say, decade. I can't call it, man. Both teams can play decent ball. Both teams have been known to play sloppy ball this year. South Carolina's got a little bit of an edge at quarterback, even though he's very inexperienced and erratic at times. So I think that could help Tennessee's defense out. They could disguise some things, confuse him. But, man, it's going to rain. Tennessee's probably going to play a boring brand of football, if we're being honest, just to try to limit mistakes because of the quarterback situation. I think it's going to be a ugly, muck-it-out kind of slugfest on a wet Saturday.
Think so too, man. I don't know how to call this game either. I don't know what's going to happen. You look at South Carolina; they're playing a true freshman quarterback. If JT Shrout gets the nod, then they'll have a more experienced quarterback than us. When you think of game reps.
Yeah, absolutely. With Shrout, I mean, if he plays Saturday, and I think at minimum they're playing 2 quarterbacks on Saturday. I think both quarterbacks see action. And when Shrout's in the game, and if they let him throw, he's going to make some throws that you're like, whoa, okay, this kid's got something. And he's going to turn around and he can throw, 2-3 picks right in a row. Like, that's how up and down this kid is. Great arm, but you just don't know what you're going to get once the ball's out of his hands. But it's not much better with Garantano. Every time this kid drops back, I'm holding my breath. It's almost like a thriller movie.
It's like
every time he drops back, you start to hear the scary music start, and you just don't know who's about to get their head chopped off.
Yeah, it's kind of. And again, Jared didn't mess up every single play in the Alabama game. He just had
of course not.
He just had that one play and a bad throw to Juwan Jennings that just overlaps everything else. But it's kind of like when you see a big man who never shoots 3-pointers shoot a 3-pointer, and you're like, no, don't shoot it, don't shoot that. That's it. Don't shoot that. And then he makes it like, yeah, good shot. Yeah, good shot. Yeah, I know you can make it. Don't keep doing it, but good shot. Whew. That's kind of how I'm going to be Saturday. Maybe that's what you're referring to every time number 2 drops back, or when South Carolina blitzes.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, when South Carolina blitzes. So we need to take our first break of the day here. Live at Game Time Sidekicks. Ben, where's your coffee, man? I got my coffee right here, my Game Time Sidekicks cup. Nice and warm. Good to go. You got your coffee over there?
I do have my coffee.
I'm turned this morning. It's been a long week, man. It's been a long week.
You ain't lied.
Alabama,
you ain't never lied.
Alabama, man, beat me twice this week. It's beat me twice this week, man. It's beat me twice this week because of that officiating. Every time we talk about it, I get upset. I lose energy. I lose control. Oh, man. Live here, Game Time Sidekick, Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Hey y'all, check it out. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a brand new happy hour special right now that you don't want to miss. Get $2 off of their fantastic barbecue queso appetizer from 2 to 4 p.m. That's queso loaded with your choice of pork, chicken, or brisket and served with Frito scoops. And for the rest of the month, check out their new Pig and Peaches salad for $11. This thing is loaded with salad mix. Grape tomatoes, fire-roasted peaches, pickled red onions, pork belly burnt-ends, goat cheese, and topped with a delicious balsamic vinaigrette. Dead End Barbecue. The barbecue search is over.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible. But remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Gentlemen, are you feeling tired and grumpy? It could be low T, or it could be sleep apnea. Millions of men not only suffer from low T, but also undiagnosed sleep apnea. Low T Center provides a complete health assessment to check all of your levels. And right now, they're offering a $49 home sleep test to find out if you have sleep apnea in the comfort of your own bed. Low T Center makes it quick and easy to take care of your health, and most health insurance is accepted. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
You're listening to the Swain event.
And you know this, man!
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 865-255-03. As always, our number here to the B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Our good friend Seth Stokes is on that B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline this morning. And I got a message from Vol Nation who said that the Gamecock fans are nervous.
Mm-hmm.
We nervous. They nervous.
Yep.
Kind of like Stokes mentioned earlier. I know he mentioned Ryan Helinski's play has been erratic at times. South Carolina has been erratic and sporadic up and down all season long. They lose to North Carolina 20-24 to start the season. Mm-hmm. They lose on the road at Missouri 14-34, but yet they beat Charleston Southern 72-10. And I get it's Charleston Southern, but anytime you put up 72 points, it's impressive in my opinion. They fought hard with Alabama. Ryan Helinski won SEC Freshman of the Week because of it.
In an L, like to win in a war in an L. That's.
He threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I haven't seen that in a long time. When you win an award, when you lose.
Yeah, I haven't either. And then they beat Kentucky 24-7. They beat Georgia on the road 20-17. Picked off Jake Fromm 3 times, and then they lost to Florida this past weekend, but put up a great fight. So which South Carolina team is going to show up? I think that's why South Carolina fans are nervous because they don't know which team is going to show up.
Yeah, that's where they're at. I work with 3 or 4 South Carolina fans, and that's in talking with them this week. They don't know. The only thing we can all agree on is we don't know which team's going to show up for each side, and that it's going to be ugly.
I think
no one is expecting a pretty football game.
One thing you can say about South Carolina and the games that they played well in, I think the difference from what I've seen on tape is the pass rush. Defensively, when they're getting after the quarterback, spearheaded by number 3 there in the middle, I tell you what, they're hard to beat because quarterback doesn't have much time.
The pass rush is huge for South Carolina, and their rushing attack is a big deal. When that thing gets churning, it really takes the pressure off Olinsky. You know, they've got some playmakers on the outside, but really their bread and butter on offense is running the football. And that's something that, you know, Tennessee has gotten a little bit better at slowing down is a good rushing attack. Dowdle's not going to play in this game. They're going to have to rely on Feaster, the transfer from Clemson, who finally kind of had a good solid performance against Florida when he got the lion's share of the carries. But you know, they've still got two backs, Feaster and one other, that can hurt you there in the rushing attack. But their workhorse Dowdle won't play, so that works in Tennessee's favor a little bit.
Yeah, this game is all about the trenches. I mean, to really take a step forward as a football program, we got to put together two back-to-back performances where the offensive line pretty much carries the team and shows up, and we can. It's been actually two performances on the offensive line, Mississippi State and Alabama, but we have to make it a part of our identity, not just doing it once or twice. Oh, hey, surprise today, we got the offensive line, you know, jamming up people. No, it needs to be who we are. When you play Tennessee, prepare for us to run the football because that's what we're going to do. When you play Tennessee, prepare for a physical football game in the trenches. And Tennessee has an opportunity this week to make it 3 in a row. And there's not another week where Tennessee is going to need the offensive line more than this game with the quarterback situation where it is and possibly weather not being ideal. So Wanye Morris, Darnell Wright, Trey Smith, Jerome Carvin, Brandon Kennedy, Kayron Calbert, those boys, Jameer Johnson if he plays healthy, Chris Akprogene if he gets in there, everyone, Ron Johnson, come on now, come on, come on, Ron Johnson, we gotta have you playing at a high level. Come on now, Ron Johnson, we need you. So this offensive line, for me, they are the most important players in this football game.
Yes.
In the second defensive front for sure, but offensive line, you got Kinlaw on South Carolina's side, who may be the best defensive tackle in the league.
He's played himself into a late first-round pick at the moment.
Arguably Kennedy's biggest test of his career, college career.
Yeah, like to be considered as the best defensive lineman in the SEC, like that's like one of the best in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, like what Ben just said, we're talking late first round pick, second round pick, something like that, depending on how he tests and his character and his injury history and all those things. So it's going to be a huge test for our offensive line. Do we have to double? Will we have to double? If we do double, will other South Carolina players get a chance to get to the quarterback? You're looking at Jim Chaney. How will he manage if Stroud does play early? Do we see the 5-yard hitch routes across the board? We saw that when Brian Maurer went in against Florida. We've seen that with JG at times. That is used to kind of get the quarterback in the rhythm. Also, it's used to get receivers involved early, because if you don't get receivers involved early, sometimes they can drift off in outer space because you're not getting them involved in the game plan. So a lot of questions, especially in the first 5 minutes of the football game.
Well, and listening to Cole Kublik talk about Javon Kinlaw this week, he gave him the best compliment I think a defensive lineman can receive, and that's that teams run double teams at him, and it doesn't slow him down. Mm-hmm. And he put him in the same conversation as Derek Brown, the Auburn defensive tackle, who is probably going to be a top 5, top 10 pick. And what's unfortunate for Tennessee is it's just not Javon Kinlaw. It's also DJ Wanham, who is a team captain, who has already been named the SEC Defensive Player of the Week against Tennessee twice in his career. He had a 3-sack performance against Kentucky. South Carolina's got some dogs up front, and Brad said that it's the most important game for Brandon Kennedy of his career, and I absolutely agree. It's Trey Smith's biggest game of the year. It's Wanya Morris's, it's Darnell Wright's, it's the entire offensive line. So if Tennessee is going to win this game, it's going to be because they were able to kind of take those guys out of the football game to a certain extent.
I agree. I agree 100%. When you play in this league, you're going to play against guys who are first-round picks, second-round picks, future NFL All-Pro players. That's the way it is. You're going to play against good players.
That's why you play in the SEC.
Exactly. That's why you decide to play in the SEC. And a guy like Brandon Kennedy, who went to Alabama. Now, I couldn't do it. I couldn't go from Alabama to Tennessee or Tennessee to Alabama. I'm still mad about the Alabama game. I'm still mad about stuff that happened in high school with Bama fans. So, hey, I couldn't do it. But you know, Brandon Kennedy wanted to stay in the SEC. I mean, this is the best of the best. So, you're getting exactly what you asked for from the guys that want to play in the league. You want competition, and here it is. Out of any position on defense with a uncertain quarterback position or uncertain quarterback play, I don't think defensive tackle is the position that we would like to go up against where the guy is like one of the best in the country. Yeah, because that's the worst place you can get pressure. You might be able to deal with the defense.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, you can deal with the defensive end. You can chip him with the running back. You can use the tight end, the double team. If he gets off the line of scrimmage and you know kind of beats the tackle, at least make him run the hump, and the quarterback can step up in the pocket and still make throws. But when you get pressure right in your face, whoo!
Especially a potential first-time starting quarterback, essentially a true freshman. I know technically he's a redshirt freshman, but he hasn't played a whole lot. Yeah. And then the other quarterback has the Sam Darnold's going on. He's seen ghosts all over the field.
At least ours not admitting it though.
That was so funny.
Sam Darnold's on the sideline. I see dead people.
I see Casper. Casper's getting to me.
I see dead people. What movie is that from, Stokes? You a scared movie guy.
That's a Sixth Sense.
Yeah. I see dead people.
You know, the man, if nothing else, he was honest.
Man, he too honest. I don't want to hear that.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to hear that, man.
No. That might be the end of mic'd up players on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, because I saw what Adam Gates was not happy about that soundbite.
I don't necessarily blame him either.
Well, apparently the Jets didn't have anybody in the production truck like approving the clips that came through. Typically, when these things happen, the way I understand it, there'll be a representative from the team filtering this stuff. And what you hear is what's been approved by the organization to go out over the air in game. And the Jets didn't have anybody.
Nope.
How you mess that up?
They call Rommel. They can't find Rommel.
That was a great time for that.
I mean, need something, man. I mean,
speaking
it's the Jets, though. Are you surprised?
No, it's the Jets. One of the worst teams in football. And I do not feel bad for that New York Jets offense, considering who the running back is. I hope they lose every game.
Man, he's so petty, man. I don't understand why you don't.
What do you think Antonio Brown's doing right now?
I don't know. Probably
not working. That's all I know.
I mean, he's back in school.
Counting his money.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Rubber band man.
Yeah, he's counting his money.
What, counting all the money that he cost himself?
Yeah, we can do both. Money he's made,
still has
money he cost himself. But I saw where he's going back to school, and by the look of some of his tweets, he probably studied hard.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's majoring in English and grammar.
Yeah, mine's not always perfect, but I'm just saying, it ain't Antonio Brown level.
At least you try to use punctuation.
I mean, I try, but my goodness. Whew. But hey, when you paid, I guess it don't matter as long as you know how to manage your money. So you do have to be smart when it comes to managing your money, but you don't got to be smart when it comes to grammar.
Nope.
As long as you know how to keep it, I guess. Whew. Yeah. All right, we got some around the SEC today, Ben.
I always have something to talk about.
You
know what? We'll do this. I'll let y'all think about this during the break. I'm going to ask who you think wins the LSU-Auburn game when we come back. Prediction time.
That works. Let's do it, man. 865-255-03B Dry Waterproofing Hotline. Be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today. We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
Small town, like a small town when I'm with you.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. We're live here at Game Time Sidekicks. The new Swain Event cups, gray, with cartoon character there on the back of your boy. Big old round Nip Dug head on the back. That's me. And I'm proud of it.
That is what Kavaris Crouch once called Elijah Simmons.
Milk dud head. Yeah, I don't know about the jokes in that locker room. I don't know about the jokesters in that locker room.
Hey, they like each other. That's all that matters.
We had some fools in my locker room, man. We had some dudes that could have went on tour, comedy tour.
Based off of some of the nicknames y'all gave out, I can attest.
Yeah, we had a good old time, man. We had a good old time.
Called somebody bumps because they had the razor bumps on their neck.
Yeah, we call him Bumpy.
Bumpy.
Yeah, just ruthless.
Gosh.
Ruthless. We call somebody Jada Kiss because they like to smooch. So we call him Jada Kiss.
You gonna learn today.
Jada Kiss was a rapper. He's a rapper. And so we just call him Jada Kiss and Jada for short. Yeah, we came up with some nicknames, man. I'm glad I didn't get one of those bad nicknames.
The young guys on the show know who Jada Kiss is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Making sure.
You got to check, Stokes. You got to check, man.
You do.
You got to check. You just never
It's for
know.
y'all's benefit.
Especially old Ben over here. You just never
Please.
know.
I listen to more hip hop and rap than all three of y'all combined.
Nah.
You know
Maybe
that's
the
true,
new
too.
stuff, not the vintage.
Yeah, the new
Not the
stuff.
classics.
Yeah.
I listen to it all. The old stuff, the medium stuff, and the new stuff.
What's the medium stuff?
It's in the
What's
middle.
the medium
It's
stuff?
in the middle of the old and the new.
The medium. What's in your cup, man?
You don't need to know.
What is in your cup, man?
All I'm going to say is that I had to Uber over here.
Really?
No.
I was about to say, man. You had to Uber over here. I believe you because I don't know what medium means. Medium. I don't know what medium rap music is, man. What is that? Like a temperature of food? Like it's not hot, but it's not. It's not
ordering steak.
Yeah, like what does that even mean?
Well,
It's in the middle range.
If Vanilla Ice is rare, then Will Smith is medium.
Oh, wow. That was
Oh man. All right. 2-5 versus 3-4. And Will Muschamp, man, is undefeated versus Tennessee.
I don't know how that's possible.
How did this happen?
Well, you see, in all 7 games in which Will Muschamp played against Tennessee, his teams had more points than Tennessee did. That's how it happened.
Man, after your last comment, I would think that you would straighten
You gonna
up.
learn today.
I wish you. I would hope you would straighten up.
You know who scares me most on the South
Wow,
Carolina
Ben.
team?
Who?
Their kicker.
Really?
Ben.
3 in a row.
You want to know why?
The kicker is more.
Can I show my work?
More than Kinlaw?
Yes. You know why? Because Parker White, South Carolina's kicker, is 5 for 5 against Tennessee. 3 of those 5 made field goals have come in the fourth quarter, and 2 of the 5 have been game winners.
He scares you more than Kinlaw.
Not legitimately. I'm just saying that he likes to win football games against Tennessee on his leg. Javon Kinlaw isn't kicking the football.
Stokes, this is your fault.
I know.
This is your fault,
I
Stokes.
take full responsibility for this, man.
This is your fault, Stokes.
I did not train him properly before I left.
I can't wait for you to text me on Saturday night and apologize to me when Parker White kicks a game winner.
That doesn't mean he's
I
more
can't
important.
wait to queue up some medium
So
rap
you
music
can't wait
to
to see
bump out
Tennessee
to.
lose? Is that what you just said?
No. Don't spend that on me.
Listen,
That's exactly what you just said. You just sat
No,
there in that
no,
chair
no, no.
and said, I can't wait for you to text me on Saturday night and apologize to me after Parker White kicked the game winner.
That's different than saying I can't wait for Tennessee to lose.
No.
It absolutely is.
Don't try to backtrack down.
No, don't try to get Vol Twitter on me. I know what you're trying to do.
it might be. We might need to start the segment. We might need to start the segment over. we might.
Ben
Run it
taking
back.
heavy L's right now.
We might need to start the segment over. Kinlaw would probably play 50 snaps in the football game. The kicker will probably have about 10.
Well, first off, I was being sarcastic. I was not being serious.
Oh, okay. Just wanna make sure.
I didn't know I didn't know I needed to break out my sarcasm font that Twitter needs as well.
You do. You do need to break it out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you do need to break it out. Yeah, Kinlaw is definitely the most important player for Tennessee that have to worry about. And in the 41 minutes we've done the show this morning, we've talked about what scares us about South Carolina. But what makes us feel good? What's something that South Carolina should be worried about when they're looking at Tennessee? And we mentioned that Carolina fans, they're nervous too. We nervous, they nervous. Why do you think? And I'll start with you, Stokes, and then you, Brad. Why do you think South Carolina fans are nervous about Tennessee?
Oh, and this is going to sound bad, but I'm not necessarily sure they're nervous about Tennessee. I think they're nervous about which South Carolina team is going to show up.
Yeah.
But some reasons that they should be nervous about Tennessee is if they turn on the game film and they're going to see some members of Tennessee's front seven having their way with Alabama's offensive line. I mean, there was members of Tennessee's defensive line manhandling two dudes at once at times, pushing them way back to the backfield. That should have South Carolina fans a little bit concerned since the defensive line is kind of clicking right now. Also, the fact that Jimmy Pruitt is a really good defensive coordinator, really good at coming up with exotic blitzes, and the teams that have beat Tennessee are teams that throw the ball around the yard really, really well. Teams that struggle against Tennessee are the teams that focus on the run more, on running the football more offensively. Tennessee shuts those guys down. Look at Auburn last year, Kentucky last year, State this year. Teams that focus on the run and don't throw the ball consistently struggle against Tennessee. And when those teams do throw the ball, Tennessee DBs have been very opportunistic this year. They're getting a whole lot better at creating turnovers.
Yeah.
So that's, if I'm South Carolina, that's what I'm worried about.
Absolutely. I mean, I echo a similar sentiment, just to emphasize the trenches more. Seth, when you look at South Carolina fans, they're probably concerned. They're worried about what team's going to show up, right? How could you not be in this situation? Tennessee fans probably thinking the same thing. But when you look at what Tennessee's put on tape the last 2 weeks, the defensive line, the front seven defensively, even with some of the issues with guys being out with targeting or missing time due to injury, it's the best 2 games the front seven has played this season. You look at the offensive line, that's the best game, looking at Alabama last week, that the trenches on either side played as a whole. So carrying that momentum back at home against South Carolina, a game that you want, a game Jeremy Pruitt needs, I think that's what maybe South Carolina fans are looking at.
Ben, why should South Carolina be worried about Tennessee? And I know Stokes just said that they, probably more worried about which team is going to show up, but not about themselves. But what about Tennessee? What should scare them about Tennessee if they watch Tennessee play this season?
Tennessee's veteran receivers going up against their young secondary. I like South Carolina's secondary. JT, I don't even know how to say this guy's last name. IBE, that's his last name. J.C. Horn, Israel Mukuamu, the guy who had 3 interceptions against Jake Fromm and against Georgia, R.J. Roderick. They have a lot of talented but young guys in their secondary, and I think that works in favor of Juwan Jennings, of Marquez Callaway. Now, the unfortunate part for Marquez Callaway and Juwan Jennings is can the guy who's throwing the football to them do so accurately and before he gets sacked? That is a problem. But I do think Juwan Jennings and Marquez Callaway can use their experience in the SEC going up against a young secondary that is playing well this season. I think that they can use that to their advantage. I think that's the one area that I circle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, J.C. Horn is good for a couple of defensive pass interference penalties a game right now.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. Juwan is going to have a level of intensity that I'm pretty sure J.C. Horn is going to try to match, but can he match it without grabbing and hold it?
And being emotional.
Because you got to grab and hold Juwan to stop him or to contain him. Now, Juwan got to catch the ball in traffic. He's had 2 drop passes where it's resulted in result was an interception. And no one talked about it this week. Why? Because we love Juwan, and Juwan gets a pass most of the time. But he don't get no pass from me when it comes to dropping passes. He has to catch passes, period, in traffic. That's what comes with playing the position in the slot. He's an unbelievable competitor. I wish we had a whole team of Juwans as far as how he approaches the game of football, how he works. But you got to catch the ball in traffic. 2 interceptions because of drops by him, and it cannot happen again. J.C. Horn he's going to be a good player, and he is a good player. But, Stokes, you said it. He's going to get you 2 or 3 penalties a game. Can Tennessee do what they did against Georgia? Can we get an early touchdown? A big play, get the crowd into it, get the momentum going, and that will help a struggling Jared Gantano if he plays, or a first-time starting or first-time getting a bunch of reps in a meaningful game in JT Shroud. So I think a pretty big touchdown early will be helpful. But if I'm South Carolina, I think Tennessee's wide receivers would make me worry a little bit because they do have some big play potential, and Juwan is a tone setter.
Yeah, and the thing about Juwan with the interceptions and traffic, like you said, he's had two. One of them did cost Tennessee a touchdown, and that one did get talked about a bit that week. But the one against Alabama ended up not costing Tennessee anything. If I'm not mistaken, Tennessee turned around and picked off Tua in the end zone. That was Nigel Warrior. If I'm not mistaken, that was the ensuing possession after the Juwan interception. Also, what you see out of Juwan, he doesn't go to the sideline and pout about it. He goes to the sideline, goes through every single one of his offensive teammates and apologizes that he's going to get it right.
He did. No,
like that seeing that helps people go, okay, yes, he made a mistake, but he's handling it the right way, and it ended up not really hurting Tennessee.
No, he did do that. I did notice that. But at the same time, he can't do it. Like he is.
No, he can't.
Yeah,
he absolutely can't.
He's an NFL prospect, and that's 2 drop passes where the other team intercepted the ball. So NFL scouts don't care about your sorry. NFL scouts care about your production. Now he's shown leadership. No doubt about it, and that's good to see. But it's about results. And Stokes, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're 100% right. But I'm right too when it comes to the importance of production. He got to catch the ball in traffic. And
I'm just saying that's why it's not really been talked about much.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
He's not. He can't do that. Like drops that lead to picks in traffic are unacceptable.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But as far as why the fans aren't harping on it, is because it didn't directly result in Tennessee losing the ball game.
It's like
taking points off the board.
Yeah, it's like committing a really dumb foul, like fouling a 3-point shooter, but they go to the free throw line and miss all 3. So you kind of get lucky. You got bailed out, and Juwan got bailed out because Tennessee got turned over.
Exactly.
Yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying. All right, let's take a break.
Boy, didn't Nigel Warrior wish he had an extra year on that pick?
Man, he needed nitro. Yeah, he needed a nitro button. He needed nitro button. What is it called?
Nitrous oxide.
Nos.
Yeah, he needs some of that, man. He needed to drink some of that before the game. Well, I did see where someone had used a GIF of a snail running, and he liked it. I mean, he liked the comment, so either maybe he knows that he's a little bit slower than everybody else, or he's going to use that as motivation. I don't know, but everyone looks slow when you got to run a pass. Well, you got to run away from Henry Ruggs. That dude is fast.
He's so fast.
Yeah, super fast.
No doubt about that.
Got to have a big play, big game from Juwan Jennings. I think our wide receivers have a chance to kind of help out our quarterback. South Carolina DBs traditionally are very well coached. This dates back to when Steve Spurrier was a coach. I mean, they've always had really good corners and really good safeties. There's a ton of dudes playing in the league from South Carolina. The best corner in the game right now is from South Carolina, Stephon Gilmore. So there's going to be some really good play from South Carolina's end on Saturday as far as DB. But they're physical, and they're going to draw flags. They're going to draw penalties. When will those flags come out, and will it help Tennessee extend drives maybe on third down or put themselves in positions to put up points? Stokes, Brad Matthews, Ben McKee here on the Swain event. We'll just keep on pushing through until the top of the hour. We'll try to get on Wes Rucker today at 8:15. Pickle says, define medium rap music.
It is the age of music between old school rap music and new school rap music.
Okay. Okay. Dusty Rhodes says, will Batuli be available in the first half? Yes, he will be available in the first half because he got ejected in the second quarter, which means he has to miss the second half, but then he gets to come back the next game. So the commentator fudged it up initially, but he did come back in the second half and made the correction that said that Dane Batuli was going to be back. So Dane Batuli should be there.
There's a lot of things getting fudged up in that game, not
Let's
only
be
on the
honest.
field, but in the announcer's booth. That was one of the more embarrassing broadcast performances I've ever listened to.
Yep. Muted it in the first quarter.
It was awful.
Give me Bob and Tim.
Yeah, that was who's on the call this week? Let me see here.
While you're looking that up, I'm wondering. You mentioned flags and South Carolina secondary getting pass interference penalties and stuff, but will the refs be more apt to keep the flags in their pocket against these two teams this week, or are you going to see them just throw flags everywhere just for spite?
I mean, it's weird because the two teams who got screwed over the worst are the two teams who playing each other this week.
Yes, and both teams were vocal about it publicly this week. Now, Muschamp was a little more angry sounding with his, while Pruitt was a little more calculated and controlled in his delivery of talking about the officials, or Muschamp was called it the officials' performance gutless and drop the flag on my feet next time.
Drop it
pretty
on my
much.
feet next time.
He was pretty much saying, say it with your chest, official.
Yep.
I mean, he's right.
Don't do it. He is.
He is right.
So what happens from an official standpoint in this game? I'm really curious to see how they call this game.
Well, I guess that means the home team gets the advantage, right?
I hope so.
And hopefully the announcer will say, hey, we are in Knoxville.
Oh, my goodness. When that got said, I almost went through the roof.
We are in
Or when they were
Tuscaloosa.
essentially making fun of Jeremy Pruitt for taking all of his timeouts before the kicker missed that kick.
They said that?
I love that.
He said, he would have missed it anyways. The timeouts didn't really matter.
Oh, because of Alabama's kicker luck?
Yeah, he would have missed it anyways. So maybe he was joking. I don't know, but it didn't sound great.
He was probably
No.
joking, but why would you say that?
Yeah, it didn't sound right.
So who are the announcers
And I love
this
the
weekend,
fact that
Swain?
Pruitt did that.
Taylor Zarzor, Zarzar, and then Matt
Zarzar Binks.
Yes, Seth.
analyst Matt Stitzcomb, and then Alyssa Lang is on the sideline. So they do a pretty good job.
I like Alyssa Lang and Matt Stinchcomb.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job. Man, they do a pretty good job. I like quarterbacks.
I do too.
Yeah, I like quarterbacks in the booth, man, because they see the game differently.
Or former offensive lineman
Like
Cole Cubitt.
Or contributors to the show. I mean, take your pick.
Well, Cole's on the sideline.
He needs to be up in the booth. It's just a matter of time before he's up in the booth too. I like Jordan Rogers' analysis. I don't necessarily like his vibe that he has going on. But
you still mad at him for throwing away at some Tennessee stuff in Sam's on video?
no, I just
He can break down tape.
he's just got a different personality than me.
I have mixed feelings about Jordan Rogers.
That's fair. Yes,
Like he's maturing,
that's pretty fair.
it seems like, and he's getting better at his job. Like, whereas he's getting better, I feel that like McElroy as an announcer is getting, as a color analyst, is getting worse.
Took the words out of my mouth, Seth.
Like, I liked McElroy when he first started, and now he's putting on this weird voice, and he sounds like a superhero announcer. Like every time he talks in game, and like I don't know, it's really annoying to listen to. His analysis is good, but Jordan Rogers is kind of the opposite. Like you can tell he's getting more comfortable. He's maturing. His analysis is great. He's adding a lot without being like nails on a chalkboard in the announce booth, and he's fair on Twitter now. I mean, he's not just doing those stupid things like he did where he was throwing stuff down in a Tennessee Sam's.
I mean,
in a Knoxville Sam's Club or whatever.
I like McElroy. I like Rogers commentating. And I give y'all
McElroy's been hanging out with Joe Test too much.
I like McElroy's analysis.
Yeah, I just prefer quarterbacks. I prefer Dan Orlovsky. I mean,
he was really good.
He does a great job. He
did
awesome.
the Florida game.
Yeah, he was awesome in the Florida game. But Stenstrom does a good job too. So those will be the guys calling the game, and I'm pretty sure they were made aware of what happened in the Alabama game. All right, Stokes, you got the podcast dropping here at 10 a.m., correct?
Yes, sir. Back this week.
Any guests?
Lots talked about, the Alabama game. Obviously, talked about South Carolina. I said goodbye to Mohamed Sanu. Talked about my beef with WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash.
Oh, man.
And
why did I not talk about that?
Also talk about, I gave a little review of the Joker movie and all that.
Is it worth going to see?
Absolutely. I would absolutely go see it. I loved it. Now, you're going to feel a little weird after you see it because it really takes you into the descent of Joaquin's character into becoming the Joker. So it's a little nuts, but it's really, really good.
Well, Stokes, hope you have a good weekend, my friend.
Man, hope you do as well. You guys have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the show. And go along.
Hour 2 is coming up here on Swain Event. Swain Event is brought to you by Dead End Barbecue. We're live here at Game Time Sidekicks, GameTimeSidekicks.com. They are right now cooking up in with a tumbler. Ben needs an upgrade from the tumbler that he has right now. All the good tumblers are dirty, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. Swain Event, Hour 2 coming up.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
There is a 60% chance of rain today, mainly after 5 p.m., cloudy with a high of 60. The chance of rain increases to 90% tonight with a low of 55 degrees. Tomorrow, there is a 40% chance of precipitation, mostly cloudy with a high near 74 and a low around 58. There is another slight chance of showers on Sunday with a high near 70. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. We're live here at Game Time Sidekicks, GameTimeSidekicks.com. Whatever team that you root for, it could be Tennessee, it could be any college team. We got fans listening who maybe are not Tennessee fans. Game Time Sidekicks, you can carry your team. You can carry your team with you. So they specialize in 20-ounce tumblers, 32-ounce tumblers, the stemless glass tumblers for the ladies. Keep your drink cold, keep your drink hot. You know, I made my coffee early this morning around 5:30ish. It's still warm over here.
It keeps it hot all morning.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not exaggerating.
And for me, it's about the quality.
Yep.
Because I've been given cups like these before, and you're not really supposed to wash them in the washing machine. In the dishwasher.
Definitely not supposed to wash them in the washing machine.
That would be good, but shouldn't wash them in the dishwasher. And even if you don't, a poor quality cup, the colors will chip off, it'll wear down, it won't work as well. But with Game Time Sidekick, it's the quality. It's the quality that puts them really above everyone else. And you can make your own tumbler if you go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. On the left side of the website at the top, it has customize. You can go and customize your tumbler. Also, they have 40-ounce bottles. They got the big bottles that you can also customize. You can also get and different team designs, 22-ounce large, tall bottles. I actually got my bottle out there in the car. I got one for coffee and one for water. One for water, man. And I'm spoiled when it comes to water too, man. I feel like you, Ben, when you in the press box this week and everyone else is in the stands getting rained on. I feel so snooty. Because
peasants.
I feel so snooty because I went to a restaurant last Sunday. My mother-in-law was in town, and I went out to lunch. I went to a restaurant, and I usually order water. 99% of the time I order water at the restaurant. Number one, because I like to save that $2. But number two, I just like water. I love water. That's my number one drink. And so because I drink alkaline water all the time, so I'm the dude to go to the gas station, and you can keep Deer Park water. I'm good. But I usually get the Essentia or like the Core with the high pH level. So I'm like a water snob, man.
You sound like a diva.
When it comes to water, I kind of am. And so, like, at the restaurant on Sunday, like, I got my water, and my first taste, I was like, what is this?
Did you spit it out all over the place?
No, but I was close. Oh, my God, this is terrible. So I roll with water all the time. And sometimes I take my own water to restaurants. I got to, man. I'm used to alkaline water, man. When you drink this stuff, I'm telling you, it's pure as pure it could be. When you drink this stuff with a high pH level, you can tell when the other stuff is not as good. So anyway,
so I'm drinking water out of your fridge right now. What's the pH level for that?
I don't know, man. You drinking the wrong water, buddy.
Thanks for letting a man know.
Hey, man, I told you at the beginning when you were a guest, the first time, where the good water is. I'm not responsible for holding your hand after the first time.
All right, that's fair. It's just been a while.
Hey, when you come to the house the first time, I'll make you a plate for you. I'll get you a cup of water the first time. After that, you ain't a guest anymore. You got to get your own damn water. That's the way it works.
I think the best thing about the Game Time Sidekick cups is that you don't taste the metal.
Yes.
That is my mom's favorite part about the cups. That is my favorite part because how many cups do we buy that have a Tennessee logo on them at just a basic big box store?
Yeah.
And they taste like metal. And what you're drinking tastes like metal.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
battery.
Yeah, it doesn't make for a pleasant drinking experience. But with the Game Time Sidekick cups, like Swain said, it keeps your drinks hot. If it's a cold drink, keeps them cold, and you don't taste the metal, which to me is the most important part.
Yeah.
And they look awesome, which is also very important.
Yeah, GameTimeSidekicks.com. Let's go to the phones. Let's bring in Dave Tona, and let's try to bring in Zach. Thanks for holding. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How you doing, Dave Tona?
I'm doing awesome. Day before I leave, doing awesome. Swaino, I want to give you mad props. And Ben, I'm immensely disappointed in you, brother.
Oh, man, what did Ben do this time?
Well, he let you be. He's a baseball guy. He's a baseball guy.
He is a baseball guy.
And he let you come up with the third killer bee yesterday, which, Swaino, I didn't think you had a chance. I didn't think you had a chance.
You didn't think I knew one of them?
And Ben says, I can't remember the last one.
Yeah.
Well, and then you come busting out Jeff Bagwell. And I'm fist pumping you, Swain. I was like, Ben, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, fist pump, New Jersey style, Jersey Shore style. Give me the techno music.
Okay, so I gave you a prop. Now, listen, you talking about these tumblers, and I'm getting my Christmas list ready. And I'm like, what should I get Swain for Christmas? And I'm like, I'll get him one of these tumblers. And I said, should I call him and ask him what kind of tumbler he wants? And I said, nah, I got it. I got the perfect tumbler for him.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to get you a tumbler, Swain. It's going to have a picture of Mitchell Trubisky, and it's going to say wasted first-round draft pick.
Trade deadline.
What do you think about that?
Trade deadline's around the corner. You know, we need to go ahead and make something happen. Yeah, Dave Turner, you think you slick. You called in, and the first thing you mentioned was, another day before my trip. Stop reminding us that you're going on vacation, okay?
Well, I'm just telling you it is. I leave tomorrow.
We know already, man.
But I need your help on two different things on my trip, okay? So I'm gonna put this out there for you.
Okay. Well, tell us
the
about
wife and I was packing the suitcase last night. Actually, the wife was packing the suitcase.
Yeah, for the trip,
and
right?
She kept fussing at me for the trip to Jamaica. Did I say Jamaica?
Yeah, Jamaica.
And she's like, Dave. She says, you know, you really have other clothes other than Tennessee and Pittsburgh Steelers stuff.
Yuck.
And so, should I appease the wife and take some of that out of there,
No.
or should I just blame it on Swain and say I forgot.
I mean, you can blame it on me.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, you can blame it on me, man.
Yeah, hey, but Ben, Tennessee plays Saturday, so I got to have two outfits for Saturday.
That's right.
Steelers play Monday.
That's right.
Late, so I've got to have at least 2-3 outfits for Monday, repping the Steelers.
Scrimmage game.
That's
the
right.
Steelers.
We're gonna whoop up on those Dolphins.
Scrimmage game.
You better.
All right, my last thing is I need a little help. I try to be an organized person. I'm trying to think of what's the first. Do you guys partake in alcoholic beverages, adult alcoholic beverages?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So I'm trying to figure out what the first alcoholic beverage is I'm going to have when I'm in Jamaica on Saturday, Swain, on vacation. So you guys help me with that. Is there a kind of drink that I can have? Because I'm going to be on the beach and I'm going to be tailgating.
You going to be on the beach, huh?
Tailgating.
Well, for me, it's Tennessee. It's Jack Daniels, Tennessee whiskey. That's my go-to drink, but that's just me. I
think I'm a double shot of Jack straight.
Yeah, man, that's all you need right there, man. That's all you need.
Do you guys like the flavored Jack?
I like the honey. That's the only flavored drink I'll drink. I like the honey. The honey's good.
That's for your broadcasting voice, right? That honey does good.
Yeah. The honey's good, man.
I got you.
So enjoy your vacation to Jamaica, and give us an update.
I'll call you on Monday from my vacation in Jamaica.
Well, you do that, man. I appreciate you, Dave Toner, and I hope it is $5 a minute on your cell phone bill. Calling up here, bragging about going on vacation. I hope your cell phone bill high, Dave Toner. All right, let's go to Zach. Zach, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Zach.
Got a couple questions that I'll get off here and hear y'all's answer. First one is, do you think JG has lost the locker room at all? And what do y'all think Trey Smith will do next year as far as coming back or going to the league? And thank you guys for everything.
Dang good question.
I'll let you answer the first one, Swain.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that question. I don't know if he's lost the complete locker room, but I do know some folks who are shaking their head at number 2.
It's not as good as it's been. We can say that safely.
Yeah. To lose an entire locker room, that's a lot, man.
Lost them in what sense? Like from a having confidence standpoint in him, having confidence in him, or they just purely do not like him on and off the field. Because I think confidence. I think the confidence has been gone for a couple of weeks.
I don't know, man. You look at Mississippi State game, and I'm not sitting here saying that he was the reason why Tyler Bird scored a touchdown, but
the team rallied around him.
But they loved up on him, man. And I'm sorry, a locker room that has given up on a player, a locker room that is done with the player, you don't see that. Now, maybe the Alabama game changed everything. I don't know, but I have not heard anything about the locker room being lost with Jared. Now, I know there's a few guys who are like, yeah, I'm ready for another quarterback. Now, I do believe that, but the entire locker room, I don't know. I don't know about that one. 865-255-03. We'll talk to Wes Rucker, Go Vols 24/7, coming up next here on the Swain Event. Be right back.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. The next thing you know, you're being arrested for DUI. Be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call DUI and criminal defense attorney Marcos Garza. Put this number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty, say Garza. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
Hey there, Swain event listeners. It's football time in Tennessee. While you're cheering on the Vols, you might be thinking, I would love to buy a home with a great place to entertain for games. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm tired of hosting all of these people at my house and we don't need all this space anymore. Whatever your plans may be, when you are ready to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call me, Jennifer Morris, at Keller Williams Realty, 865-694-5904, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com, and go Vols.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Zach had a really, really good question before the break. The second question, the first one was, do we think that JG has lost the locker room? And I haven't seen or heard anything to support that. I don't think everybody is happy with his play. But I don't think he's lost a complete locker room. The complete locker room is a lot, but I'm just trying to put myself in those players' shoes.
Well, I also don't think Trey Smith comes out and is as adamant with his support for JG on Tuesday if he doesn't have confidence / faith in JG.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the locker room. Now, if there was anybody that did lose confidence and he lost, that would probably be on defense. Because ain't nothing worse for a defensive player is for you to be playing at a certain level and one player in offense messing up for the whole entire team. Like that'll make you upset for sure. But the entire locker room, that's a lot. Now, the second question was Trey Smith leaving after this year to go to the NFL or deciding to return, which is a really good question. If you Trey Smith, you have a limited amount of football playing time, and you already have kind of beat the odds a little bit and did everything to be able to put yourself in a position to play. I would try to leave this year. I would try. But if he gets a grade back that says, okay, well, you're probably going to get a red flag because of your condition, then I would stay. I would stay because if you get red flag, you're not playing the NFL anyways. So you gonna leave and not play football anymore,
Let
or
me-
you gonna come back and get one more year of college? Because if you get red flag, man, you're not playing in the league, and they're not going to let you not practice all week,
Right.
not go through contact, and then play on Sunday.
That-
That's not the way it works.
The NFL is not going to adjust their practice schedule throughout the week to accommodate one person.
Correct.
Because in the NFL, each team is full of Trey Smiths.
Correct.
Let me ask you this, though. Trey Smith is going to be red flagged for health reasons this year, next year, whenever he decides.
I don't know if he will, man.
I don't know how. If you're an NFL team, I think you're not. I don't think you're doing proper work if you don't red flag him.
I'm not a doctor, man, so I don't know.
I get it, but just with his injury history, or his medical issue that he has had kind of ongoing, I don't know. I would be worried about drafting him if I'm an NFL team, especially early in the draft. But let me ask you, assuming that is a factor, that each NFL team will weigh his previous medical issues into whether or not they want to draft him this year, next year, does that weigh into your decision to leave? Because if I'm Trey Smith, and I'm not really trying to like put myself in his shoes, because I will probably never go through what Trey Smith has been through, and I'm not trying to act like I know what he has been through in terms of his health issues that he's battled the previous 2 years. But if I'm Trey Smith, knowing that the NFL is probably going to flag me because of those issues, I'm leaving after this year.
Why?
Because what if those medical issues come back up next year when he's playing his senior year at Tennessee, and then you run the risk of not being drafted at all, maybe not even being signed as an undrafted free agent. At least right now,
But what if Josh Gordon smokes pot again? Or what if, X player
What's
that
that
has
got
a
to do with
habitual
blood clots?
habit? I'm just saying, like, there's habitual behavior or habitual instances that raise those flags, raise those concerns that you're alluding to. But NFL GMs, NFL scouts will still take a chance on the guy who has the talent to play when he's at his healthiest, when he's at his best, when he's sober. He is going to be out there on the field starting at that position. They were willing to take a gamble on guys like that if they show any type of upside.
I absolutely agree, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that if I'm Trey Smith and the blood clots have not reappeared through the rest of this season, then I am not taking a chance in coming back to school, them coming back up, and then potentially hurting my draft stock for next year. If I've got a clean bill of health, I'm going to go ahead and go get the money while I can and not risk those health issues reappearing next season.
I think both of y'all missing the point. Here's why. Trey Smith, if he decides to leave, he's going to go to Indianapolis for the combine.
Mm-hmm.
The first day you arrive, you will be going to the hospital, or you will go through medical evaluations where every single team doctor will put their hands on you. Every team will ask questions about your medical history. Before Trey Smith even gets to that point, he's going to turn his paperwork into the NFL, and he's going to be told that he's either red flagged or he's not. If you're red flagged, you're not getting drafted, period. In 2014, 15, 16, in between that time, Anthony Parker had a second-round grade at one point. He sent his paperwork in, and based on his medical history, he was red flagged. Anthony Parker was a better college lineman than Ramon Foster. And Ramon Foster has played in the NFL since, 2008, 2009? 2009. He's played in the NFL 10 years. And he is one of the captains on your Pittsburgh Steelers. Anthony Parker got red flagged. Why I think you missed a boat, Ben, is if Trey Smith gets red flagged in the NFL, why should he go to the NFL when he's not going to play or get drafted, because no one's going to mess with that medical condition, and no one's going to allow him to miss practice all week long and just play on Saturdays? He can do that at Tennessee. So would you rather not play football anymore after this year? Or would you rather say, okay, I know I may not have an NFL career, but I'm going to play at least one more year of football, but it's going to be at Tennessee because Tennessee is going to allow me, just like they have this year, to not practice during the week as far as what everybody else is doing, going through the physical contact, because they're trying to preserve my body and maximize my opportunities to play on Saturday. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, if he doesn't, let's say if he doesn't get red flagged, but he just has a condition that he gets more feedback from specialists and doctors and things like that, and the NFL teams are not concerned about it, then he should go. If he doesn't get red flagged, definitely should go. But if he does get red flagged, he should stay.
I guess where you and I disagree is I think because of his medical past, he is going to be a red flag regardless.
But you don't know that.
That's why I said I think. I don't know that. You're correct. But I think because blood clots can always reappear, that the teams will if they're going to draft Trey Smith, they're going to take that into heavy consideration when drafting him, that may reappear. So I guess that's where we disagree. So I think that will always follow Trey Smith through the draft process. That, yes, he's an exceptional talent when he's healthy and whatnot, but he had this really bad medical past at Tennessee that could reappear. So if I'm Trey Smith and I make it through the season unscathed in terms of the blood clots, then I'm just going ahead and trying to go make as much money as soon as I can.
He won't make no money. They won't touch him if he's red flag.
And I think that's another area where we disagree. Is I do think that a team will take a chance on him at some point. It won't be a first, second, or third round pick, but if I'm a team in the 6th or 7th round, I'm absolutely taking a chance on Trey Smith.
Ben, if you get red flag, they don't touch you. I'm telling you, they don't touch you. You ain't getting drafted. They not bring you in if you get red flag.
There have been several players over the course of history of the NFL draft where guys have terrible knee injuries, terrible whatever injuries, and they still get drafted. It's not first, second, third round maybe where they should be drafted, but at some point teams do take a chance on them in the 6th and the 7th round. And I think that will happen with Trey Smith.
You go show me someone with a condition like Trey Smith who's a lineman who's being taken late in NFL draft. If you are someone with a knee history and you play linebacker or you play in the secondary, you play wide receiver, they can at least use you on special teams. A lineman, you can only be an offensive lineman. So your probability of getting drafted after getting red flagged as a lineman is not that high. Anthony Parker didn't have a serious condition like a blood clot.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Parker just had a knee.
Right.
So.
And he didn't get drafted, correct?
He didn't get drafted. He didn't get drafted.
My thing is if Khalil McKenzie can get drafted as a project offensive lineman, a team will take a chance on Trey Smith.
But he didn't get a red flag, though.
I get it, but I would rather take a chance. What I'm saying is if I have the ability to draft Khalil McKenzie or Trey Smith in the same draft with a pick in the 6th or 7th round, I'm taking Trey Smith, even with his medical history, over Khalil McKenzie, who is a project offensive lineman, just for the hope that everything turns out fine with Trey Smith. 6th and 7th round picks don't mean a ton in the NFL.
If he's not red flagged. If both players are not red flagged, then okay, I see you doing that. But you are not getting past the point of if you get red flagged, it ain't happening. You ain't getting drafted.
But my thing is, how is he already not red flagged because of his medical history?
Because he hasn't went through the NFL process yet. He hasn't turned in paperwork. Once he does that, he'll get feedback from the NFL.
Swain, are you saying red flags if that is, if you're deemed with a red flag medically nobody's touching you, or red flags in general?
Medically. Yeah.
Okay. That's needed to be said. We've seen several examples of guys just with off-the-field incidents or being kicked out of school. They're red flags draped all over these guys. We're talking solid players.
No, we're talking like a real red flag that's on your evaluation. Red flag. Not like a figurative red flag. Oh, man, it's a red flag. He has bad behavior. No, they put a red flag on your profile. Injury, serious injury, don't touch. He ain't getting drafted. It ain't
Just
happening.
thought we needed to clear that up because folks chiming in halfway through the segment.
It ain't happening. It'll be the same thing as like them going through. It'd be the same thing as like Melvin McBride. Like you go through and you see that he has an enlarged heart, and it's like he's not playing. It's over. It's done. Like there's no wiggle room. There's wiggle room in college for Trey Smith because we're willing to allow him not to practice all week. They're not going to do that in the league. Only guys like Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Peyton Manning can get away with things like that. Guys who put in the work in the league, and you can't build your whole career off not practicing, but after you put in work and you a Pro Bowl player or a high-caliber player, okay, you have that luxury of maybe not practicing, for a couple weeks but still playing in the game, but they're not doing that for a rookie. It ain't happening. Now, Jeffrey Simmons had torn ACL. You can come back from a torn ACL. That's why the Titans drafted him still in the first round. Willis McGahee was drafted in the first round with torn knee. But we're talking about blood clot. So it all depends on his eval. If it comes back with a red flag, if it doesn't come back with a red flag, if it comes back with the red flag, he should stay. If it doesn't, he should go. That's my take. All right, let's get to the phones. And let's go to Camden. Camden, good morning.
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
You sound good, man. Good morning.
Morning. First, just want to say, I've been listening a long time. Y'all definitely been listening since TSR days. So, your show is a way for me to center myself, keep grounded. There's all kind of things you do in life, but you guys are really, just a relaxing escape, sports, laugh, and whatever on my way to work or at the gym. So I certainly appreciate everything that all of y'all do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Camden.
Just there's one thing that's on my mind that I kind of learned about that I kind of talk about this football team that I see, and it's strong words. Words of strength and words of weakness. So there's two things that don't matter just on the football field or just in the football team, but the way they affect all of us in my life, your life. How do you talk about the day as you go about it? Just taking a look over at the football team, you kind of see a shift for those guys. You see previous coach, looking at him, he said, we have never flown on a plane before. Is that words of strength or is that words of weakness?
That's weakness right there. Sounds like an excuse.
That's weakness, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So, and words that Pruitt's using probably isn't fit for broadcast.
No, that's true. I mean, hey, I will say that the previous head coach said a lot of words that wouldn't fit for a broadcast either. But Pruitt doesn't make a lot of excuses publicly. He just doesn't do that. It's because all you're doing is giving your team a reason to make the same excuses. I mean, you just don't want to do that. So.
And you also got a bunch of people that were there, kind of triangulating hate on the other team. Some people have said that they were just a negative aspect, and you got all these negative words that's coming from those guys, and I should be playing or something like that. That adds more, it just adds more weakness to the whole team. It adds people just doubting and putting in all that just triangulation to add the negativity. You look at Nick Saban, his team talk about rat poison, or other people talk about energy vampires, something like that. That even Bush Jones did say, but probably true. With you look at your work, I go to work and I see it at work. I see people, negative people. It sucked the life out of everybody. So you talk about raising the program and booing and crowd being in it or crowd not being in it. That's just negative thoughts, and I don't know if JD can overcome that. I'm not saying that he can or he can't. I don't know where his mindset is. Some people rise to the occasion, some people don't. But just in my opinion, I think you see a team that's starting to believe more, and you see that as a reflection of the head coach using strong words and believing in people and giving them the technical aspects to be able to use wrong words and coaching them up. So that just has been on my mind.
Well, I appreciate you calling me and sharing. What's on your mind? I do, man. You can see that the culture is changing here in Tennessee. You can look at the last two games, and we hope that we get a third game where there's unbelievable effort, there's physicality, there's intensity. We see that. And then I think our coordinators have done a really good job with their game plan too. So the culture, according to the last two games, it has changed, and we have took a forward step, but we got to do it again. We got to do it again. Got to have consistency. That's the name of the game. If you ask a coach, okay, what if you could have anything with your football team, what would it be? Every coach in America would say consistency. They just want consistency. Each day of practice, you practice a certain type of way. In the games, you play a certain type of way. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And that's important building this culture. Got to get 3 really good performances in a row. And it may not mean you win, but you can tell that the culture is changing. And guys are listening, guys are buying in, and doing the job. Let's go back to the phones, and let's bring in Devontae. Devontae, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I was listening yesterday, man. I heard when Dave Toner called, man, he thought it was me, man. Felt good, man, to know that I'm appreciated just like y'all is, baby.
You are appreciated.
But, thank you. Ben?
Yes, sir.
I love you, dude. Love you to death, man. We got West Tennessee ties, and we enjoy a lot of the same teams. Majority of the same teams, actually. But, man, Trey, this is the thing, like Swain was saying, man. With them blood clots, it's very serious to the NFL. Like the Chargers got a young player. He like they third year player. He a right guard or something, and he's not playing. I think it's the Chargers, and he's not playing because of blood clots.
Russell Okung.
Is that him?
Yep, that's him. But he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah. So, man, I always go back and forth in my mind to think if Trey gonna stay a lead. But like Swain was saying, if he get that red flag, he could really tarnish himself, even if he was to come back and play. So,
and I absolutely, I agree with that. I do. But where we disagree is I think Trey Smith is already red flagged because of the blood clots. I don't know how he would not be red flagged because of the blood clots. I mean, that's a serious issue. So that's where I disagree. I think if you don't want to use the term red flagged, NFL teams are already highly aware of his previous medical conditions, and so I already think he's red flagged in a sense.
Metaphorically.
That makes sense.
But he hasn't gotten the paperwork back to officially say that he is red flagged. We just assume that the NFL are going to be afraid of his condition.
Right.
That's two different things.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's two different things.
But they found Russell Okung's blood clots after the fact.
Yeah. I'm not
while he's in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 10 years deep into the league. I'm not trying to say that at all.
Yeah. But I also go back and forth with the juniors that's kind of playing. I go back and forth for who gonna really come team next year. Like Trey, not Trey. Ty Chandler. I honestly think Ty Chandler needs to stay because he has enough tape, but he don't have enough. You kind of get where I'm going.
Let me stop you. Number one, you need to red button that call is called in. Tell them to call back later. Number two, Tyler Chandler will not have a decision on whether to leave to go to the NFL or stay. Devontae.
I try to tell a couple people that, man.
You need to tell them again. They ain't hear you the first time.
They be like, one particular person, my cousin, he like to go back and forth and say, because I told him that, Johnson said a while back that he ran a 4.3. And my cousin say, if he run a 4.3, if he can go to the combine and pull that off, or he can go to the pro day and pull that off, he going to get drafted. But my thing is, it's more to it than numbers. People get caught up in numbers. It's way more to it than numbers. You can watch a football game and see a quarterback having for Brian Moyler, for example, his first half against Florida. If you see his stats against Florida or Georgia, it's one of the two. I think it's Georgia. When you look at his stats, no, it's Florida. You look at his stats, they're ugly. But if you watch the game, it wasn't that bad of a game. Well, no, it wasn't Florida. It was Georgia. So I'm not into numbers that deep. But, all right, what you think? Okay, you say Ty not going. Let me see who else I got.
I don't think there's a junior that we have to worry about leaving. Who really has a legitimate shot at getting drafted now? Cortez Sapp left after last year's season. That was a head scratcher. He did not get drafted. So you can leave if you want to. You can leave if you want to. I mean, no one's holding you hostage now. But I don't think there's anyone who could leave early to declare and get themselves drafted. I don't see anybody at this point of the season that could do that.
Okay, one more thing about the players. Okay, Juwan and Marquez, we both know they can get drafted. Beginning of the season, my true mind, I thought Juwan could be, depending on what type of season Marquez had, I thought Marquez could have went 1 through 4. And I thought Juwan could go like 4 through 7. Am I crazy now that I think it could be the possible other way around? And I think only reason I say a first rounder for Juwan, I really don't know how fast Juwan is. At times, I think Juwan is slow, 4.6 slow. And then at times, he look low 4.4 slow. So, I don't know, man.
Devontae, I don't think Juwan's ever ran a 4.4 in college. I think Juwan's a 4.7 guy just watching him run.
I was saying best case scenario, 4.65.
Yeah, I think once Juwan heals up and goes through combine training, I think if he can get himself in the mid 4.6 range, that'll be a win for him, to be honest. Just from watching him run, that's what I would say. But it's funny, I mean, we sitting here talking NFL draft and things like that. There's still a lot of football season to be played. There's still, for Callaway, at the end of the day, he's a low 4.4 guy, and he's going to perform well. He just needs to get a better, some better games on film, where he's actually catching the ball, making some things happen. Now he's still going to be evaluated on his run blocking. He's going to be evaluated on the routes that he does run, even when the ball does not come to him. He's still going to be evaluated. Scouts come in and they watch the end zone copy, they watch the wide copy, and they can see if you're still doing your job or not. They can see if you're still creating separation. You don't need the ball to see if Callaway is getting separation on some of the best corners in the SEC. If he's able to do that, hey, you got a chance in the NFL. They can take into account that the quarterback situation has not been ideal for Tennessee. They can do that. 865-255-03, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline. We don't have anybody else on the hotline, do we? Do we, Brad?
Correct.
Okay. Is it break time? We taking a break? Is that what we're doing?
It is.
Okay. Let's take a break. Let's do it. Let's take a break, and we'll come back after these short messages. We are live here at Game Time Sidekicks, GameTimeSidekicks.com.
For what is coming up on the Swain event.
There is a 60% chance of rain today, mainly after 5 p.m., cloudy with a high of 60. The chance of rain increases to 90% tonight with a low of 55 degrees. Tomorrow, there is a 40% chance of precipitation, mostly cloudy with a high near 74 and a low around 58. There is another slight chance of showers on Sunday with a high near 70. Weather on the Swain event is brought to you by B-Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, B-Dry can help. BDry.com. B-Dry is celebrating 60 years of protecting homes across the U.S. They are the basement and crawl space experts. There has been historic rainfall in East Tennessee recently. If you are experiencing wet foundation walls, puddles on your floor, or water where your floor and wall meet, then you should call B-Dry. They have over 500,000 customers nationwide. B-Dry gives free estimates for all homeowners, financing is available, and if you mention the Swain event, B-Dry will give you $500 off a full perimeter basement waterproofing solution. Wet basement? Better call B-Dry, 865-588-0454 or online at bdry.com.
Hey, Mr. Mac, you heard the lowdown? Nah, homie. Give me the word on what's going on. Tell him what it is, Big Will.
Mac. Now the lowdown is no money down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. No money down at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. Not $1,000 down, not $100 down, not even a nickel down. Low down, no down, only at the new Open Franklin Motors in Alcoa. 2 minutes from the airport. So fly on down to the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, home of the original low down, no down payment. That is, why would you buy from anywhere else when you know we gonna get you done? Good credit, bad credit, slow credit, we will get you approved. So come on down to 911 Louisville Road, the new Open Franklin Motors next to Walmart, or call 865-980-8216. Turn down for what?
We all know that Vol Nation is all over the country. Traveling to games is a fun time for the entire family, but deciding where to stay can be a bit stressful. That's where the Big Orange Faithful at the Hampton Inn downtown come in. General Manager Stephen Lawrence and his team go over and beyond to make sure that you have the best stay in their brand new rooms. They have the cleanest rooms in the game, which include flat screen, microwave, and fridge. Not to mention breakfast is included in the room rate. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the best part. The Hampton Inn downtown is less than a mile from Neyland Stadium. While you're planning your game day trips, be sure to check out Hampton Inn online at hamptoninn.com and search Knoxville. Book Hampton Inn downtown today.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit. You get confused. You don't understand why. You start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It is time for what? Yesterday's For What went to Sharon Jones, former Tennessee quarterback, now in New Mexico. Ben, Brad, do you have any For What's that you would like to highlight today?
I am giving the Houston Astros a For What, and not because of their performance on the field. Yesterday, they fired assistant general manager Brendan Taubman after admitting in a statement that his inappropriate comments about the acquisition of closer Roberto Osuna were directed at a group of female reporters. A report published earlier this week by Sports Illustrated's Stephanie Epstein said that during the celebration in the Astros clubhouse after clinching the ALCS on Saturday, Taubman turned to a group of female reporters, including one wearing a purple domestic violence awareness bracelet, and repeatedly yelled, "Thank God we got Osuna. I'm so blanking glad we got Osuna." Last season, Osuna served a 75-game suspension stemming from an incident that happened while he was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays, and that incident was domestic violence related. So I'm giving the Astros organization a For What, just for A, this total situation, but B, after Sports Illustrated's Stephanie Epstein came out and kind of reported this, that the assistant GM said what he said towards a group of female reporters, the Astros came out and said that Stephanie fabricated the story, made it something that it was not. And they have still yet to apologize to her they've come out and apologized to her in general, but they have not, unless they have, since I checked last, they have not come out and apologized to her for accusing her of fabricating a story. So that whole Houston Astros situation has so many different nuances to dive through, but it just is an overall For What on so many different levels. So I'm giving the Astros a For What for A, their off the field incident, and B, their on field performance as well.
No, they definitely get a For What, man. I was listening to a little bit of Golick and Wingo this morning as I was sitting down for the remote. They had the TV going in the background, and the GM came out yesterday and made it worse. Contradicted himself, and the Astros have been they've been really, really putting their foot in their mouth, and worst thing that can happen is those guys winning the World Series, because everyone will talk about their conduct off the diamond rather than their play on the diamond. So go Nats. Easy to root for the Nats right now. 865-255-03 B-Drive Wire Proofing Hotline. All right, Brad, you don't have a for what, so we'll keep this thing rolling. We'll take a look at the text box this morning. What you got?
We had a couple of questions about people coming in town, or from people coming in town. Earlier in the show, we had Ruben 12. He's bringing 8 people from Indiana, and he asked what is must-see, must-do. Obviously, you have to go by Alumni Hall, pick up some Tennessee gear. Then you have to go by Dead End Barbecue, get the Hillbilly Chili. You can get the Bernie Mac, the Mac Attack. Those 3 are my favorites. Jabari Davis, former Tennessee running back, he had the barbecue spaghetti with burnt ends. I believe it was burnt ends. Didn't he get the burnt ends with his spaghetti? I believe it was the burnt ends.
Jabari, yeah.
It looked absolutely delicious. You can get the sausage and cheese plate as an appetizer. So go by Alumni Hall, go by Dead End. And then in terms of game day experience, you got to go to the Vol Walk if you've never been. It is a very cool scene, especially when a lot of people show up. So that would be my recommendation. And a cool little thing that I like on game day is when the band marches to the stadium. There's nothing like hearing Rocky Top, but there's really nothing like hearing Rocky Top live in person from the band. And when they march to the stadium, it's a really cool scene down out there in front of the stadium. So that would be my suggestions. And then Vol 58 also asked for suggestions to get the most out of tomorrow. I would say the same things. Would you have any suggestions, Swain or Brad?
Nah, man. I'm simple. Alumni Hall for the gear, Dead End Barbecue for the belly. That's simple as that, man.
Yeah, it goes without being said. I really encourage the Vol Walk, really encourage watching the band come in. There's very few atmospheres like it pregame in college football.
Yeah, Vol Navy is always cool.
Just hope the weather's good enough for folks coming from out of town.
Have we checked the latest forecast?
I can do that now.
The weatherman, Mr. Matthews over there.
Let's see. Text box. Biggest game of the year, says James from CT. Whoever plays quarterback, I expect to see Tim Jordan 100-plus yards. If that happens, we will win this game. It's going to be hard to run the ball 100 yards against South Carolina, but if we can get a collective group effort with the running game, that would be awesome. Tennessee Levi says 3 fingers first play of third quarter, and will they have the Vol Walk in the rain?
They usually do.
Yeah, I mean, they might. If it's crazy, they might bust the players a little bit closer to gate 21, but I don't remember a Vol Walk not happening because of the weather. But maybe
they'll shorten it if anything.
Yeah, maybe I've missed it. Vol Girl says I love our receivers. But did Devontae say first round? Well, he said a range between first and 4 for Marquez Callaway is what he thought preseason, and he thought 4 to 7 for Juwan preseason. But now he feels that those guys are flip flop because of the play during the season. That was his opinion. Will from West Tennessee says should have known not to call in and wait on hold while Devontae's on the line. Devontae, he flows and goes now. He flows and goes. Brandon says the blood clock issue is real, not speaking bad over anyone, but imagine the public relations that an NFL team would deal with if he had a stroke or another issue on the field. I can't even pronounce it.
A pulmonary embolism.
There it is. Big Willie Style says, Ben Swain, just getting to the left coast. Has there been any news about J.T. Strout's family being impacted by the fires near Santa Clara? Hoping for the best for the Vols and Cali along with everyone else. I have not heard anything about Strout's family at all, but I have not been on Twitter.
I haven't seen
really
anything
much
either
in the last couple hours. So Jay Shelton 25 says if Lawrence Phillips can get drafted in the first round, then Trey would get a shot no matter what. Talent is talent in the NFL. Listen, guys. Behavior is one thing.
Yep.
Knee and shoulders is another thing. We're talking blood clots.
Yeah, that's a whole different
That's
level.
a whole different ball game. It's a whole nother ball game. Behavior is one thing. All right, you had a little issue with this person, or you got fired, or you smoked some weed. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Willis McGahee, he was taken, and he tore his knee up in the national championship game. But there's confidence in knee reconstruction. There's confidence in Jeffrey Simmons being able to get back and play at a high level.
And look what he did this past
Exactly.
weekend. He balled out.
But we're talking blood clot.
Yeah, that's a
all right.
totally different issue.
It's totally different. It's totally different. There's a meaning of red flag. So like if you have bad behavior or you are injury prone, there's a meaning of red flag signaling that, okay, you better keep your antennas up. He has a red flag.
Character issues.
There is what they call red flags when they legitimately put a red flag on your eval. So you get back your evaluation from the NFL. You get, and we've seen players get this from Tennessee, where they put their paperwork in and they get a grade back. And that grade could be fifth, it could be first-round grade, it could be second-round grade, whatever. The paperwork you get back, you really get a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get that, like Anthony Parker did, he decided to come back and play at Tennessee because he wasn't going to leave and not play in the NFL. So why would you shorten your football career by a year? You play at your school because you know your school is going to protect you. They're going to allow you to play if you don't practice. They're not doing that in the league.
Right.
They're not. They ain't doing it for anybody coming in as a rookie. You got and as for linemen, you got to bang in to get ready to play. You're not a wide receiver where you can, you just run routes on the side. Or no, you're a lineman. You got to hit to be able to hit on Sundays. So we'll see what happens with when the season ends and he gets his information back. We got to take a break. We'll go back to the text box after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
While the players are gearing up for the gridiron, it's time for you to get geared up at Alumni Hall. Find the best selection of Nike, Nike Golf, Peter Millar, and all of those retro logos you love. And the 2 for $28 t-shirt deal? Game changer. And don't forget about the rest of your game day crew. There are plenty of options for the entire family and to upgrade that tailgate. Shop now at one of their 6 convenient locations in Tennessee or 24/7 at alumnihall.com. It's football time in Tennessee.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
You're listening to the Swain event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
Hour 3 here in the Swain event. We're live here at Game Time Sidekicks. Going back to the text box this morning. TN Pride 85 says, was Tiny a red flag? Obviously, a knee problem is not the same as blood clot. Just curious if he was or not. Tiny was not drafted. Tiny was not drafted. Tiny, remember, he also got an awesome grade right before his senior season, right before after his junior season. He had a first-round grade. He was one of the only tackles in college football that was able to neutralize Jadeveon Clowney. I think Tiny gave up maybe one sack, and I don't even think – yeah, it was one sack. It was one sack. It was, I remember, the 2012 game at South Carolina where Clowney had a strip sack against Tyler Bray late in the fourth quarter. Carolina recovered. Game was over. 2013, Butch Jones' first year, Clowney didn't do much of anything. Did some things in the running game, but passing game, Tiny made his money. But Tiny's knees kept him from getting drafted, and it didn't last long with the Minnesota Vikings because of those knees. So, and that's a knee. That's a knee. So, Alex says Chubb's fine, others are fine, Trey's fine, trucking people. Don't know what that means in relation to the conversation. Nick Chubb had a ACL and recovered and fine. The NFL's not afraid of ACLs. 90s Vol says, Swain, if you were on that team, how would you handle that question about JG if asked by the media? That's a good question. If I'm going through interviews and I'm asked about the locker room and how others feel about the quarterback who's struggling, especially after the Alabama game, I would do exactly what Trey Smith did. I would protect my teammate. Yeah, I would protect my teammate. I mean, that's what you have to do. I don't care if you don't like JG, if you don't want him to play, if you do love him, it don't matter. The message should be the same. You got to protect your teammate publicly. Publicly. All right, let's go back to the phones this morning, 865-255-03. And let's see here. We have Nathan and then DR Vol. Nathan, good morning.
What's up, Swain?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I wanted to call. I hadn't talked to you since last week, and just wanted to say, man, I was really encouraged Saturday just by our play up front on both sides of the ball. I think one of the biggest things we're doing better, improvements we've had, is our defensive line, and it's just amazing to me, like, how better they've got as the season has progressed, which is good to see. And then I've heard a lot of talk about Pruitt still kind of being an Alabama boy. And if you thought that after Saturday, you didn't watch the game, because he was definitely all in wanting to beat them Saturday, and you could tell that. And I, like I said, I'm encouraged by him. But I want to ask you a question. I know I saw that Shroud is starting on, more than likely starting on Saturday. I know he could totally have, come apart, throw a couple picks, but would he not just have to do something just awful in order to get pulled for JG? Or do you think it's possible, they might, if he's not driving them good, just switch just to see? But I hadn't seen JG do anything to make us think he would be any better unless he's just turning the ball over every play. And I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Nathan. I have not seen anything that points to him starting. I mean, I would start him, but I'm not in that locker room. I'm not a coach, but I would
Just for
start
clarification, you would start who?
Shroud.
Okay.
Yeah, I would start Shroud. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I would start Shroud, and as long as he doesn't have a start of the game like Nathan Peterman had in 2013, or Nathan Peterman had in 2014 at home against Alabama, then I would keep it going with Shroud. If he makes some mistakes, as long as they're not like catastrophic turnovers, I would play field position. I would be conservative. Now, if South Carolina scores 2 touchdowns and we can't stop them on defense, and then Shroud struggling, then you have to make a decision. The thing about that decision is you can't go from Shroud to JG having him on a short leash, and then JG messes up and then go back to Shroud. Like, you can't do that. You can't go musical chairs back and forth, back and forth. Like, you got to make sure if you pull a Shroud, then, it's going to be JG the rest of the time. But I would go with Shroud and give him easy throws and run the football and give him half the field reads and things like that. And maybe you go up tempo a little bit and help him with some of the calls from the sideline, so he doesn't have to worry about huddling up and trying to manage the play clock. Because that's one thing that Shroud has had some issues with, getting guys lined up, managing the play clock in practice. Luckily, he's at home. Shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be noisy for him on offense. So that's what I would do. I would go with Shroud early in the football game. Brad, Ben, where y'all at on that?
I'm going Shroud as well.
How long is the leash is my question.
It depends on his play.
If that scenario, exactly. How long is that leash? Given that scenario, if it's an offensive struggle for both teams and you're looking at like a 6-3 game entering half, how many mistakes has he made at the line of scrimmage? Has there been any turnovers? You have to assess all of that. But how long is that leash? I do think we see both quarterbacks on Saturday.
Ben, you say you're going with Shroud.
Yeah, I'm going with Shroud. I just don't have a ton of confidence in JG at the moment. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but I do think he needs to face some sort of a punishment for the stunt that he pulled at the goal line against Alabama. I don't know that calling it a punishment is fair, but it would be hard for me as a coach to trust him after what happened.
How different is the narrative on JG if he still goes rogue and he sneaks, but there's no fumble and there's no fumble return of 100 yards for a touchdown?
It would be completely different, but we also would not know that JG went rogue.
We would.
Yeah, we would, from the pulling guard.
We would. Pulling guard and the track
Trey
of the
Smith kicking out.
Yeah, the pulling guard and the track of the fullback and the running back. We would know.
That's fair. I guess, see, because I didn't realize he went rogue until after the game because I was sitting in the press box and I didn't see it live. I didn't see the guard pulling from where I was sitting in the press box, so I didn't realize he went rogue until after the game. So I guess that's kind of still what I think about. But yeah, y'all are right. But still, that at the end of the day, he went rogue.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would still have the same feeling if the play ended up being successful, because I mean you can't call a different play, and he didn't even call a different play. He just did his own thing. That's the big problem.
I'll be honest. I would feel differently if the play was successful. At the end of the day, results matter. But I would be very what's the word I'm looking for? I would want Jim Chaney and Pruitt to jump his butt to make sure that doesn't happen again, because you can carry out the wrong assignment with positive results.
Yes.
And that can give you a false sense of hope, because now you feel like you can do it again. And then the second time you do it, it costs your team the game. So it's kind of like in 2016 when Tennessee was fumbling 2-3 times a game, but we were 5-0 until we played Texas A&M. Those fumbles gave us a false sense of hope because we were able to recover them. But the problem was that we were fumbling, and then it bit us in the butt in the Texas A&M game. We lost the game because of those fumbles. So yeah, I would definitely have a different reaction if JG was successful on the quarterback sneak, But at the same time, you still got to coach him up. You still got to jump his butt and let him know that he can't do that moving forward. When I first saw the play, my jaw dropped. Now, I had to rewind it, and I was like, wait a minute. Was that a pulling guard? Wait a minute. Both backs went to the same side. Usually on the sneak, you got one guy going to the right, one guy going to the left to help push the power forward. Like, the second time I watched it, I was like, man, I think this dude went rogue. What was that?
I would not be as frustrated with him if it was successful, if it resulted in a touchdown, or heck, even if it had not been fumbled and Bama gets the ball at the 1 yard line. I would not be as frustrated with him, but as a coach, it would still be hard for me to trust him moving forward.
Yeah,
because
coach,
absolutely.
That is.
There's more faith out of Vol Nation going into this game against South Carolina when it comes to JG if the fumble doesn't occur. He can still get stuffed at the line and go rogue, and you're still using that as a coaching moment. You're still getting in his ear if you're Pruitt. But I think Vol Nation is not as uneasy or unsettled going into tomorrow's game if JG is called.
Yeah, maybe so. I tend to agree with you because at the end of the day, that was JG's biggest blunder of the season, but he still made a lot of questionable decisions all season long, and some of them have not even been questionable decisions. They've just been plain bad decisions. So I don't think Tennessee is in a great spot at quarterback, whichever quarterback they go with. I like J.T. Shrout's arm, but Swain talked about earlier in the week, can he make sure that he doesn't line up behind the guard instead of the center, those nerves taking him over? Can he make sure that the wide receiver isn't going in motion at the same time as the tight end or running back or somebody else going in motion? That's an illegal shift, as Swain said earlier in the week. That's Shrout's area of concern, whereas JG's area of concern most of the time is after the ball snapped. So it's kind of like, which one would you rather deal with?
Yeah. There's a view as a coach, there's a view as a fan when you're talking about the play from Alabama. If that play was successful as a coach, you're still not going to be happy about it.
Right.
You're not. As a fan, you won't be as mad about it because you don't know the assignment unless someone like Jordan Rodgers breaks it down, and it travels and it goes viral on social media and people are talking about it on TV. But that shouldn't be a problem moving forward. All right, talking about the Alabama game makes you mad. Let's go back to the phones.
Got DR Vol.
DR Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. So GTG is the baseball expert, and then Jason Harold Spice Boucher is the water expert, right?
That's me, man. That's me.
I got you.
Swain Boucher.
Hey, that's right. You ain't kidding about that alkaline water, though. That hits a little different than just that tap water.
I'm telling you, man, it does, man. And people can make fun of me all they want to when it comes to that. Me and bougie when it comes to water, but it's different. I saw one of the guys in here with a Essentia water bottle. Yep, actually the owner of the company right here with the Essentia water bottle. That pH level, when it gets close to 10, it's just that much better.
You ain't kidding. Yeah, especially that. Well, you said it. The core. That's the one. The big bottle, the weird looking bottle. That's probably the best bottle. Of
yeah, it's
water
blue.
I've had.
Yeah, it's blue. Blue top. Mm-hmm. And Essentia has the black and the
guys,
red label.
I hate to be DR Downer, but y'all gonna have to talk me off the ledge. I am dreading this game. I have absolutely no faith in our quarterbacks for this game with Maurer being out.
I ain't talking down off anything, man. I'm right next to you. Let's jump together.
Let's go, because I dread it.
You gonna do it? Jump in. Go ahead.
What was that, Lethal Weapon 2 or 3?
Nah, man, that was Lean On Me with Morgan Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna jump, ain't you? Go ahead and jump then. Go ahead and jump. I'm nervous too, man.
I dread it because, what we're hearing about Stroud is, he's got an arm, but we may get 4 or 5 delay of games. And then after watching JG, I don't know. That's why I was asking about the walk-ons earlier this week.
I mean, I know you're joking halfway, but
I'm not.
You're not. I'm not playing a walk-on. But listen, I'm nervous, man. I was more confident in Maurer playing as a true freshman than I am about Shrout playing, because I at least know that Maurer wasn't nervous. He wasn't nervous, and he was just go out there and just play, and wasn't going to be intimidated by the swamp. And Stroud, I'm a little bit nervous because, not getting a snap off before the play clock ending in practice. That's a little weird. Hey, hold on now. We got the new Game Time Sidekick Cup coming in for Ben.
Yes.
Look at that, man.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
I like the checkerboard.
They even give you the tag. I don't even know why they gave you a tag. That's how VIP you are, and that's how professional they are. They didn't even have to give you the tag. The tag could have been for the real customers, but they gave you the tag too.
They even gave me a sticker too inside the cup.
That's big time right there.
That's big time. I love the checkerboard look on the all orange.
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's good right
Beautiful.
there. Sorry, Diavol. Take over.
Now you're good. Last thing I'll say, I've actually got a Game Time Sidekick. I got it maybe a year ago, but it's a Power T checkerboard. I actually went down there and got it for this girl, and then the more I carried around, I was like, you know what? I don't like her that much. I just kept it for myself.
There you go. There you go, man. There you go. That's how you do it. There you go.
Well, guys, I'm going to try not to jump before we'll be 2:30 my time. I'm going to try not to jump off the ledge before then, and if I don't, I guess I'll talk to y'all Monday.
All right, man. I'll see you on Monday. Tennessee Levi says, who you got, LSU or Auburn? I expect that to be a slobber knocker. So, guys, who you got in that game, LSU or Auburn?
Brad?
LSU. LSU all the way. Joe Burrow, hottest quarterback in college football right now. Nobody's slowing down those receivers, even when they're injured. So until somebody stops it, I'm rolling with the Tigers and Coach O.
I like LSU as well. I don't trust a freshman quarterback in a big-time game. I like Bo Nix. I think he'll be a good quarterback when it's all said and done. But he is playing like a true freshman this season. Auburn's kind of banged up along the offensive line. The running game has struggled to get going. I like LSU in that one.
Yeah, I'm going LSU, man. I think LSU right now, them in Oklahoma, maybe Ohio State, best three teams in college football.
Yep.
So,
what's the spread there?
14.5.
Goodness gracious.
I'd probably take LSU.
I want to take LSU to cover, but LSU's defense kind of has a case of the Alabama defense to where it's not as good as we typically see. Florida went tick for tack with them a couple weeks ago, and LSU kind of pulled away in the fourth quarter. So that LSU defense concerns me in terms of covering the spread, just because Auburn may be able to get a little offense going.
Yeah, I'm going LSU.
I can't wait to watch Joe Burrow drop about 60 on Alabama's dome in 2 weeks.
Who you going with right now as the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow or Jalen Hurts?
Or Justin Fields? I'm going Joe Burrow.
I feel like it should be Jalen Hurts.
Why? Why you got Hurts over Burrow right now?
The entire story. I don't just look at this year. I look at everything he's been through. The media, they continue to harp on his time at Alabama, the way he keeps his focus on his current team in Oklahoma. I think he is the reason why Oklahoma is in the position that they currently are and why they are going to be in the college football playoff.
I do hope Jalen Hurts wins it. He has an incredible story, like you're saying, Brad. And it's hard to root against Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts, please give me 50,000 Jalen Hurts on my football team. My entire football team, I would love it if they were made up of Jalen Hurts. He's been incredible this year. But Joe Burrow, what he's been able to do with that LSU offense and how they've completely changed the perception of that LSU offense has been incredible. So I think Joe Burrow wins it as of today. But if I was giving out a vote, I'd give it to Jalen Hurts just because I love him. I love watching him play.
So Joe Burrow's the sexy pick right now because nobody expected it coming in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So y'all giving the dude the award because you feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Brad said because what he's been through?
No, how he continues to have the same approach to the game regardless of how media tries to stick him in a corner, talking about Alabama, the games he went through, had all the talent at Alabama. Maybe that's why he had such a successful record. And then how he was kind of pushed to the side with Tua. He keeps his head up. He goes to Oklahoma and does not skip a beat. He has continued to ask about his past, not about the game coming up or about his future, the now. He's always asked about Alabama and sticks on the high road. He's a great leader. I think he's the epitome of the Heisman Trophy.
That's a good point.
Feelings aside, Joe Burrow is playing better than anybody else in college football. Putting your feelings aside. What he's been able to do, taking a program that has not had great quarterback play, not only winning, but crushing offensive records, leading the country in offensive statistics. He's beaten Texas on the road. They made Florida look like they were just a unranked team there in the second half. And Florida's defense is really, really, really good. Joe Burrow is being talked about as a number 1 overall pick over Tua. Right now, no one's playing better right now than Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts, if you don't give him the Maxwell Award, the John Unitas Golden Arm Award, you want to give him, all those other awards that make you feel good, that's fine. But today it's hard not to look at Joe Burrow, man, is the Heisman Trophy winner. But Joe Burrow will have opportunity to play Alabama, and if he doesn't play well against Alabama, poof, those Heisman Trophy chances will probably be gone. Hurts will have opportunity to play Texas again in the Big 12 championship, so he'll have a chance to have a Heisman moment. But for Joe Burrow, his Heisman moment will be, another 2 weeks?
Yep.
Against Bama. So if he doesn't play,
or this weekend against Auburn, that's a really good Auburn defense.
Yeah.
It'll be the best defense he faces all year.
Yeah, but that Bama game, remember you gotta win too.
Yep.
You gotta win too.
Statistically, Jalen Hurts has done more for Oklahoma's offense than Joe Burrow has done for LSU's offense.
Just look at that you look at the SEC and the defenses. Now, it hasn't been the case, especially last year, because Tua, you could argue, probably should have won it, but the Oklahoma quarterback last year won in Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray played against worse defenses. So,
right. Well, you can also make a case. Well, real quick, this applies to Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts. That Texas defense is not good. That Texas defense allowed 48 points to Kansas last weekend and almost cost Texas the game over Kansas. So,
almost lost.
But Joe Burrow does have the Florida game under his belt, like you were saying. I think a sneaky Heisman winner, and the name isn't sneaky, but he's being forgotten about now that he's suffered this ankle injury, is Tua. His statistics are ridiculous, and if the only game he misses is the Arkansas game, in which he would only play the first quarter or the first half anyways, and he comes back and beats LSU for that Heisman moment, I could see Tua winning it as well.
Yeah, they definitely screwed him over last year.
Still wild to think about discussing the potential Heisman winners for 2019 and not mentioning Jonathan Taylor. I know it's a quarterback award now, and that's where everybody's eyes go to. But Jonathan Taylor's a beast.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Unfortunately, that Illinois game has killed his Heisman hopes.
Yeah. All right, let's get to Titans Bill. Titans Bill, good morning.
Good morning. I'll tell you what, Jason, that Heisman Trophy is an overrated award.
Correct.
And and of course, I'm looking forward to day after tomorrow, my first ever trip to Nissan Stadium to see my Titans go up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that is one party that I'm looking forward to going to.
Yeah, Titans Bill, are you gonna tailgate and get wild and crazy?
I don't believe we'll be tailgating, but we're going to have good seats somewhere.
No tailgate, so you can jump on a table like the Buffalo Bill fans?
No. No, I'm not going to be doing that, buddy. But I'll tell you one thing: this is going to be great, and hopefully we can come out with a victory. But I believe Tannehill will be starting for the Titans, and Mariota will be sitting on the bench, and it's the same way with the Buccaneers. I believe Jameis Winston will be riding the bench as well for his team. I know a lot of fans is going to be looking forward to Heisman Trophy versus Heisman Trophy. Well, there's a difference. The Titans have 2 Heisman Trophy winners on their team, while the Buccaneers just has 1. Who's the other Heisman Trophy winner that's on the Titans team besides Mariota? Derrick Henry, who's really not having that great of a year because the offensive line is crappy. Overpaid offensive line. Crappy.
You might have a point there, Titans Bill, and thanks for the phone call, man. I hope you have a great time at the game. I hope you party. I hope Titans win. You can't lose to the Buccaneers, man. Jameis Winston playing the way he's played. You got to get that win. So have fun, Titans Bill. Safe travels, my friend.
Kevin Byard might have 4 interceptions against Jameis this weekend. I love listening to Michael Lombardi's podcast that he does each week, and he always jokes that before each game, they need to tell Jameis Winston what color jersey he is wearing and what color jersey the other team is wearing because he is colorblind. And if you go look at Jameis's stats, the amount of interceptions and the amount of games that he has played is just, absolutely ridiculous. It's asinine to think the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft has turned the football over that much in like 87, 88 career games somewhere in there. So Kevin Byard probably going to have 3 or 4 interceptions tomorrow.
Hey, you're a Bears
Sunday.
fan. Who do you take? Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, or Mitchell Trubisky?
Trubisky.
Oh, man. I don't know, man.
You know you take Trubisky.
Yeah, I guess I would take Trubisky. I would take Trubisky.
Who would you take, Brad?
Confidence is oozing. I'd hope for a 4th option. And if
Nope.
it didn't come, I may lean Mariota.
Ooh, when does
I thought about it.
When do the Bears play not the Bears? When do the Ravens play the Patriots?
Here in a couple weeks.
I cannot wait to watch Lamar Jackson versus that defense. That'd be a fun matchup.
The 2015 NFL Draft class of quarterbacks: Winston, Brent Hundley, Bryce Petty, Marcus Mariota, Garrett Grayson, Sean Manning from Oregon State. Boy.
Might be the worst quarterback draft class of all time.
Oh, man.
When it lists Blake Sims in the top 7, top 8, you know there's a problem.
Boy, not great at all. Swain Event, be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Hey y'all, check it out. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue has a brand new happy hour special right now that you don't want to miss. Get $2 off of their fantastic queso appetizer from 2 to 4 p.m. That's queso loaded with your choice of pork, chicken, or brisket and served with Frito scoops. And for the rest of the month, check out their new Pig and Peaches salad for $11. This thing is loaded with salad mix, grape tomatoes, fire-roasted peaches, pickled red onions, pork belly burnt-ends, goat cheese, and topped with a delicious balsamic vinaigrette. Dead End Barbecue. The barbecue surge is over.
Soreness, bumps, and bruises are a part of everyday life, whether you're a Vol or not. Surgery can be too, even for weekend warriors. Something that can get you back to feeling your best is therapeutic massage. If you've had surgery or are feeling the wear and tear of life, give our friends at In Touch Massage Knoxville a visit. They have a hand-picked staff and offer a clinical focus for folks going through joint replacement and cancer treatment. They serve neurological patients like those being treated for MS, ALS, and Parkinson's. Their staff even includes a lymphedema specialist. Plus, they offer a great relaxation massage. Don't ignore your pain any longer. Let the therapists from In Touch Massage Knoxville help. Located just west of downtown Knoxville at 601 South Concord Street, or find them online at intouchmassagenknoxville.com and on the phone at 865-236-1425.
Due to a special purchase, Beatty Chevrolet has over 100 pre-owned crossovers and SUVs at tremendous savings during the $1 Million Markdown event. 100 crossovers and SUVs from Chevrolet, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, and more. All makes and models starting at $89.95. And we'll buy your vehicle on the spot. Plus, get the Beatty warranty for life during the $1 Million Markdown. Only at Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville or shop BeattyChevrolet.com. Sale prices plus tax, title, and license.
Do you want a custom-themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Then look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. All of their bottles and tumblers are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the tumbler market. New this year are their stemless 12-ounce tumblers, perfect for repping your team while enjoying your favorite wine. They also have new 3-in-1 jackets to use as a koozie for a can or bottle, or you can pop a lid on it and use it as a 12-ounce tumbler or coffee cup. Be sure to check out everything Game Time Sidekicks has to offer at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Game Time Sidekicks, helping fans show your colors and carry your team with unique gear you will actually use. We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, live here at Game Time Sidekicks. You can't tell Ben nothing right now. I got his new cup. Show the listeners, man. Show the viewers and the listeners. Show them what they got. Oh, yeah. Look at that right there, man. 32-ounce checkerboard, orange with the checkerboard, white checkerboard, and the power tee on the front. You can't beat that, man. Can't beat it.
It will be used tomorrow.
Can't beat it.
Hopefully
tomorrow when?
After the game.
Not during the game?
No, I can't do that.
You can't rock the Tennessee Cup in the press box?
Well, not only that, but probably not good to be drinking alcohol in the press box.
Well, you don't have to drink alcohol. You can drink
yeah, but I was talking about it's going to be filled up with some good stuff tomorrow.
Ben, you can't drink a 32-ounce of good stuff without falling over yourself. You got a low tolerance. You and I know this.
That is fake news.
That is not fake
that
news.
That is 100% fake news.
You can't drink with the big dogs, Ben.
I can call about 5, 6, 7 people right now, and they will back me. I don't drink often, but when I do, I can hold my weight.
I tell you.
Yeah, I'm going to call bull on that.
Ain't nothing wrong with being cheap drunk.
I got 50 on it.
There's nothing wrong with being a
I'll
cheap
make it
drunk.
100.
But also, how much are we talking about drinking? Because
make it 100.
I don't. How much are you wanting me to
make
drink
it
to prove
100?
Myself?
32 ounces.
32 ounces. What am I putting in here?
I don't know. What do you drink?
What do you feel confident with?
Anything. I mean, obviously, if I can't drink 32 ounces of vodka, straight vodka or something like that, then I'm in big trouble.
Are we talking a mixed drink? Or are you talking about a?
We can do whatever you want. I can hold my weight.
A beer?
Beer's easy to me. 32 ounces of beer, that's nothing to me.
Listen, Ben, there's nothing to be ashamed of being a cheap drink.
y'all.
I'm not calling you one. I'm just telling you there's nothing to be ashamed of.
See, y'all are just spreading fake news this week. First, you started with the chili. And now you got people thinking that I like my chili cold. I have people in my Bible study texting me, making fun of me for liking cold chili. And I never said that. I just said I don't like my chili hot.
People in your Bible study was doing that to you?
Yes. And then now, earlier.
You can't study with us no more, man.
Earlier, you tried to make it spin like, I can't wait for South Carolina's kicker to make a game-winning field goal against Tennessee. And now you're telling folks that I'm a lightweight.
Ben, you don't want to go check that tape about you and Seth talking about the kicker.
Yeah, but I was joking. I wasn't being serious.
Okay, just saying. You did. I'm just saying.
No, but seriously, what you want me to put in here? We'll put it to the test.
I'm just waiting for you to accept the $100 raise.
Whatever you sip,
well,
man.
Brad, I'll accept it once you tell me what I'm drinking. I got to know what I'm drinking first.
Name the product.
If you whatever spirit you drink, if you fill it up the way you're supposed to, I ain't talking about a little drop of spirit and then 99% of it is a mixer. I'm talking about properly. You just drink it.
So you're talking about a mixed drink.
Yeah.
Mixed drinks are more likely to get me, but 32 ounces will not mess with me.
A beer?
Not a beer. Brad, if I let you decide what went in this drink, what would you put in there?
I mean, I always prefer my beer as cold as the Rockies, but, I mean, I'll put anything that you're willing to drink with a $100 bet on it.
32 ounces of beer will not do anything to me. Now, if we want to mix stuff in here,
but you're gonna
then that's a different story.
Guys, there's nothing wrong. Well, everybody's being macho today.
No, I'm pulling my man card today because y'all been questioning my man card all week.
Listen,
I'm bucking up right now. I'm saying it with my chest.
There's no shame in being a cheap drunk.
I feel no pride in saying that I can outdrink you. I just know it's fact.
Hey,
Brad, I got $100 on it.
Bring it.
What is this, a frat? This is a frat party or something?
My overall point was I can't wait to use this to drink happily after tomorrow's big-time win over South Carolina, because after we whoop the Gamecocks, we're going to travel to Columbia and whoop up on the Missouri Tigers and Kelly Bryant, who is playing terrible football at the moment. And that's right, I'm overlooking UAB because Tennessee's going to smear the field with UAB. And then we're going to travel to Lexington and whoop them Wildcats. And then we're going to finish with wins over Missouri and Vanderbilt. We're going to finish the season 7-5. 7-5, win a bowl game, go 8-5. Eric Gilbert's going to change his decision when it comes to Tennessee. We're going to get Raheem Jarrett, Omari Thomas. Chris Morris isn't going to want to go to Aggie Land anymore.
You awake? Are you awake or you still sleep dreaming?
I did just finish my coffee, so.
Yeah, those things are not happening altogether. It's not happening, man. It's not happening.
But I will say this. Obviously, I don't think Tennessee wins out. Missouri, for whatever reason, is a great team at home and a terrible team on the road. Both of their losses have come on the road this year to Vanderbilt and Wyoming. But if Tennessee wins against South Carolina, absolutely going to a bowl game. No doubt about it in my mind. I think Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and UAB are all wins. Puts Tennessee at 5. Just find a way to beat South Carolina tomorrow. Find a way to beat Missouri. Win one of those two, and you're going bowling, which after the miserable start to the season feels like a minor miracle.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here talking about 2-10 and 3-9 at one point. So,
you mentioned Kelly Bryant's play, Ben. Do you think it's due to just this is what Kelly Bryant can offer, or is he battling an injury at lower leg that he's just having to gut through because he's still the best option?
In listening to Cole Kubelik break it down yesterday, he was kind of voicing his frustration with fans blaming the offensive line for Missouri's offensive woes. He said that when he went back and watched the film, Kelly Bryant was missing wide open receivers downfield, and he was holding on to the ball 3, 4, 5 seconds too long when he did have protection. So based off what Cole Kubelik said, I would say it's the way he is playing, not an injury.
Okay.
It starts tomorrow, though. I mean, if Tennessee wants to put themselves in a position where it's not a do-or-die game, last game of the season like it was last year against Vanderbilt, then it'll be advantageous to go ahead and get this W tomorrow against South Carolina. And, Carolina, they're 3-4, but they're not a bad football team. I mean, they're a football team that was right there with Florida and at one point was outplaying Florida. Had a long play that they gave up against Florida that should have been a penalty, and they had the momentum in that game at that point, and should not have been a touchdown. So Carolina's a good team. So if Tennessee is able to win, it'll be a good win for South Carolina. At this point, any win is a good win. Let's go back to the phones this morning, and let's bring in Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Turkey Man.
Good morning, individuals.
Hey, good morning, Turkey Man.
What? I'll tell you one thing I do know from listening the last 2-3 days. That whatever Ben puts in the cup, he'll have ice cubes in it.
You don't need it.
What's oh Lord, I'm setting myself up for another.
He will. We're gonna call him Ice Cube.
What's funny, Turkey Man, is while I don't like my chili hot, I don't like my sodas on ice. If we're talking about sodas, I would rather drink if I have
How you drink your coffee?
Cooled off. I don't like it. I don't like it super
A
hot
few ice
either.
cubes in it.
Ice.
I usually let it sit for about 30 minutes before I take a sip. I just don't like my stuff hot, but it's weird though because like if I have a cup of or a can of Mountain Dew, I would rather, at least when I was younger, I'd rather drink a hot can of Mountain Dew than put it on ice. Because I don't like putting ice in my drinks because I feel as if it waters it down too much. It takes the flavor away.
How hard would it be to go back and pull that tape and listen to what he said? Because I know that I was in the middle of drinking hot coffee when I was hearing that.
About the South Carolina
and it sounded
kicker?
like it sounded like what he said. I can't wait tomorrow to show you how he's going to beat us or something along that line.
Game-winning kick.
Yeah. Now, is that what the tape said?
I mean,
Is he Gamecock man now?
if this podcast don't go by 1 o'clock, you know Ben has destroyed evidence.
Hey, I'm not denying.
Tampering.
I already admitted that I
Watergate.
said it, but I was joking
And
when I said
it'd
it.
be cold Watergate.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll get out of here, but I don't like hearing all this about this chugging he's going on in between him and Brad. I didn't like that either.
No.
Talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.
Somebody on the text box, D. Cody said, Ben and Brad going to toast some Capri Suns? You dang right.
Mike's Hard Lemonade, wine coolers.
I have no
We're
comment.
going back to middle school.
Hey, man, this middle school, boy, stop. What kind of kid were you in middle school, man? You a little devil.
Hey, first time I had one of them Mike's Hard.
Jeez.
All right, man.
I thought it was lemonade.
We didn't. Okay.
It was an honest mistake.
Honest mistake, huh? Mm-hmm.
You know,
in that situation, yeah.
I'm gonna text my buddy and get some backup on this whole drinking thing.
Rodney and all says has Ben already sipping. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think Ben has already been drinking this morning.
After putting up with you all week, I got to.
Mm-hmm. You say so. Josh in Virginia says, boys, we have crossed the state line. My hope is that Garantano starts and redeems himself. Go Vols. I think we all hope that JG redeems himself. I mean, I hope I'm not rooting for a bad performance. You know, my criticism, there's a limit to my criticism. Won't go personal and, you know, won't be just downright despicable like some folks have been to him. I want him to redeem himself. I really do. But if he can't play, then he can't play. I hope he gets an opportunity because he got an opportunity at Mississippi State. He came in and he saved Brian Maurer because Tennessee was on the way to an L if it wasn't for JG playing well in the second half of that Mississippi State game. Go Hard Ball says heading up after a while for the game, Ben. We need to get this win, GBO. And you have any more of those box suites to watch the game in?
Do you want to be a photographer?
Yeah, I mean.
But even the photographers don't get to come up to the press box.
Yeah, press box and box suites are two different.
You can come up and
things.
sit in my seat, sit next to Austin Price for 4 quarters. That's a fun experience.
Yeah, I'll take that photographer badge over a press box badge all day, every day.
The only thing I don't like about being down on the field, though, and I still don't understand how coaches coach from the sideline, because you can't really see anything from the sideline. Like, if I was an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, I would absolutely want to be in the box. You just see the field better.
You have to trust your staff.
Yep.
Yeah, you just get a different feel for the game being on the sidelines. I would know. I'm not an offensive coordinator.
But you did play.
Yeah. Just like when I go to the game, I would rather be. I don't like sitting in the luxury suites because it feels like you're not even at the game. I would rather be, in the crowd, not closed off because I want to, I want to smell the weather. I want to hear the crowd. But sometimes in the top, you really can't. It doesn't even feel like you're at the game.
Yep.
All right. Parker Keith, new listener, says, hello, I'm a new listener. Do y'all give your predictions on the Tennessee game today. Thanks. What time is it? 9:45. Yeah. I mean, we might as well go ahead and do this thing. Brad, Ben, start with Brad. Who you got in this game, and who you got, and then why?
2017, I'm going Vols. It's ugly. Not a lot of scoring in the first half. We'll see the majority of the scoring in the second half. Tennessee's defense has got to be able to keep them in it. I'm concerned about the offense when it comes to either quarterback and how we're able to hold off the pressure of not only the D-line South Carolina brings to the table, but that front seven. But I will say Tennessee in a very close one, very ugly game on both sides.
Ben?
I plead the fifth.
Ben, this is a radio show. This is not court. You can't plead the fifth.
I think South Carolina wins. We are all talking about the quarterback situation for Tennessee and Javon Kinlaw up front for South Carolina, and we should be talking about those two factors of the game. But I still don't have a ton of faith in Tennessee's defensive front. They are playing better, but they're still not where they need to be. And against a good South Carolina offensive line, against a good South Carolina running back, that worries me. That almost worries me more than the quarterback situation. At least it's of equal concern because you go back and they haven't had a ton of success this season. Even against Mississippi State when Tennessee had 7 or 8 sacks, a lot of those sacks were coverage sacks where Swain and I went back, and at least for the first half, we kind of timed Tommy Stevens from the time he got the snap to the time he let go of the football. He had 3, 4, 5 seconds anywhere in that range, and anything above 3 seconds is not a good rep for a defensive line or a pass rush. So I have a lot of concern remaining there, and I don't feel like that's been talked about enough against a quarterback that can beat you. Brian Edwards, he's only a couple of passes away from a couple receptions away from becoming South Carolina's all-time leading receiver. I could see him presenting some problems. They have a tight end that has really burst onto the scene this year. Ryan Helinski, you gotta find a way to get pressure on him, and I don't have a ton of faith that Tennessee will do so. So I hope I'm wrong, but I think South Carolina wins by 6 or 7 points.
Brad, what was your score prediction?
2017 in a close one. Vols win.
Yeah. If this game was on the road, I would pick South Carolina. But since it's at home, I think being at home, even if you play JT Shrout, it'd be a better situation for him. I'm going 17 to 13. I think Tennessee wins. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But the only reason I'm picking Tennessee is because it's at home. But I am picking Tennessee to win the game, 17 to 13.
I'll say 27-17 Carolina.
Yeah. Weather. Did we get an updated weather on tomorrow?
We did. Brad texted me and said that – what did you say, Brad? It was 20% chance of rain now?
Yes, 20% chance of precipitation, high of 76 for tomorrow in Knoxville.
Hold on now. I might need to change my score prediction then if it's going to be just 20%. Yeah. Maybe 27-23. How about that? Add 10 points to each side. But I think there'll be some field goals, and I think there'll be some red zone issues for both teams. Tennessee has not been the best red zone team as far as scoring touchdowns. We've had to settle for field goals. South Carolina's had to do the same. But I think Tennessee simply playing at home will get the win because of how they played in the running game and defensively. Going up against a freshman quarterback on the road, I think Helinski will have not bad as a game as he had against Missouri, but he certainly will feel the effects of playing on the road in the SEC.
And I'll say this: although I pick South Carolina to win, and honestly, a lot of it has to do with Brian Maurer not playing. I just really ultimately do not trust Tennessee's quarterback situation. That's ultimately why I'm picking Tennessee to win, along with the defensive concerns for the Vols that I have. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that Tennessee can win. They absolutely have the ability to win. As we talked about earlier in the show, South Carolina has been very up and down which South Carolina team shows up? Is it the team that looked terrible against North Carolina and Missouri, or is it the team that battled with Alabama, upset Georgia on the road, fought with Florida for 3.5 quarters? Which South Carolina team shows up? And Tennessee will have a chance to win. There's no doubt about it. Tennessee's offensive line could absolutely win the battle in the trenches. It'll be a tough task, a tall challenge, but they can absolutely win the battle in the trenches. Tim Jordan can have a big game. So I'm picking South Carolina to win, but that doesn't mean I don't think Tennessee doesn't have a chance, because they absolutely do.
Carrie on Facebook Live says the game will be great, turning another year tomorrow. So for me, it's going to be a good day. So happy early birthday to Carrie. And Rocky Edwards says Tennessee is becoming an SEC team. The biggest concern with Stroud is getting in right play or ill-advised turnover. If JG plays like he did against Mississippi State as a game manager, if Tennessee gets in 3rd and 3 or goal line situation, would love to see package for Jennings. Terry with a good morning. Good morning, Terry. Peter says open it up from the beginning, and one run a post and one run across. So, I talking about a little.
Well, how would you come out and attack them? Because I think how we talked about last week, going up against Alabama, you kind of need to try to find a big splash play here and there. But on the same note, you kind of need to bleed that clock as much as possible. Would you come out and be uber aggressive with a quarterback that you don't necessarily have a ton of faith in, or how are you managing that?
It depends on the
depends who starts.
Well, I think that too, but I think it depends on the scouting report. Your GAs, your quality control people, they put together probably a package of first possession defensive plays from South Carolina all season. What do they like to start in? And I think if they start in single safety, then take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If they start in single safety and they want to go man across the board, then take a shot to the outside. Now take a shot to the outside. Chaney loves 4 verts versus cover 3, but I think you take a shot like you did against UTC with JG. You just want that ball to be thrown properly to the outside and high to give Juwan Jennings and Callaway an opportunity to go up high and get it. That will be my aggressive play call.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I wouldn't be surprised to see a screen pass to the running back, a flare. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 5-yard hitch ran by Dominic Wood-Anderson, Austin Pope, and the wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised to see that because I think Carolina is expecting a run first play. So.
Yeah, and
get Jennings involved early.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
That would be nice. Let him pass Swain on the top 10 receptions list early in the first quarter. Make him suffer. But early in the show, at the top of the show, we talked about Pruitt's comments about JG's play against Alabama, and he talked about how JG he had command, was able to put the offense in the right plays. He got the team from one end of the field to the other, and he had less errors than he's had throughout the year. And because of the missed throw to Jennings, because of the goal line fumble, you don't realize how well he kind of actually played. That's whether it's JT Shrout or Jarrett Garantano, that's the game plan that they have to follow. Just don't be Superman and make sure you have command of the offense, get them in the right plays, get the ball moving. Don't try to be Superman. And as long as JT Shrout or JG doesn't try to be Superman, I think Tennessee will be okay, especially if they can get the running game going.
Play within yourself.
Yes. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to win the game on one throw. And I think I worry more about that with Shrout because this is his first true significant playing time starting than JG. But I worry with Shrout about him trying to win the game on one play. And I hope, like you say, Brad, stay within yourself.
David McBride says if JG gets some confidence, I'm hoping it's what he needs. Happy early birthday. I hope Big Orange gives you a win for your birthday. Talking to Carrie from Robbie. Patrick says, what scares me the most is JG playing. Justin Shepard says, just ordered my sidekick cup. So thank you, Justin. Let's see here. Charlie says LSU. When we asked about LSU, Auburn, who would win that game. Keith says, Ben, do you brag about your drinking at Bible study? Nope. Harold says Ben has been sniffing glue if he thinks we can win most of our games. Remaining games not happening with JG. Ben was only joking because Ben mentioned flipping Eric Gilbert and flipping Chris Morris and all these other guys.
But
you was joking. You ain't flipping.
I was joking. I was joking about the recruiting and joking about Tennessee winning out. But Tennessee does have a chance of winning the majority of the games left. I mean, outside of Missouri and South Carolina this weekend, Tennessee should absolutely beat Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and UAB, regardless of who's that quarterback. I think Tennessee's a better team overall from top to bottom than those teams.
Nelson says we don't need to target Austin Pope at all. Hands of stone. Austin Pope used to be a receiver in high school, and Austin Pope doesn't have bad hands at all. It's just when he catches the ball, he needs to do a better job of securing the football and protecting it. But I don't think Austin Pope has bad hands, really at all. Let's see here. Ken says, way to hedge that prediction. South Carolina wins by 10, but Tennessee could absolutely win.
I mean, is it true or is it not true?
No, South Carolina could win, but I'm picking Tennessee. Tennessee could win, but you're picking South Carolina. I mean, I understand that. DR Fall, I don't blame being Muschamp for picking South Carolina. Muschamp? Is that what you trying to say there?
At least he didn't say Muschamp.
I want Tennessee to beat Will Muschamp. Can we just get that, man? That would be great. Let's try to see what else is here in the text box before we leave for the show. Some of the stuff I cannot read. Let's see here. I think that's about it. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Tennessee, South Carolina. Tennessee 2-5, South Carolina 3-4. And we did our show today from Game Time Sidekicks. Go to their website at GameTimeSidekicks.com. Order yourself a tumbler, 20 ounce, 32 ounce, 40 ounce. They have it all, everything that you need, any team that you need. For Brad Matthews, who is broadcasting from the Low T Center studios, Ben McKee, right here on remote. I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great weekend, a safe weekend. If you come in town, get by Alumni Hall. Pick up your orange and white. Peace and love. We're out.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.